The board meeting for January 12th will begin. Member Hahn, excuse me. Okay. We're going to have Member Hahn now lead us in a prayer following the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Hahn?
Thank you, Member Gray. Heavenly Father, we come to you this day asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Amen. Thank you. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which
it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Member Hahn, will you please acknowledge our student entertainment?
Yes, I'd like to thank the Blake High School Harp Duet for performing before our board meeting, Senior Ashante Cox and Junior James Lafayette, instructed by Pam Irwin. Thank you again for the lovely entertainment before our meeting.
Thank you, Member Hahn, and we are reminded that Member Hahn is here. She's just on the not in person, but she is following the entire board meeting. Withdrawn items. We have one withdrawn item today, 501. I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. I have a motion by Melissa Snively and second by Member Washington. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. Let the record reflect that all board members are present either in the boardroom or by remote. The vote is unanimous. All members are in favor. Thank you, board members. We have 4 sets of minutes to be approved today. 10/20/2020, 11/17/2020, December 15th, 2020, December 15th, 2020, and the first one is the board meeting. The 17th is the board meeting. Third, the 12th, 15th is the school board meeting, and the last on 12/15 was a school board workshop. I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes. I have a motion by Member Perez and a second by Member Vaughn. Any discussion? If not, please vote when your lights appear. And Stacy's raising her hand. Thank you, Stacy Hahn, excuse me. And all are in favor. Board members, I'd like to go over the format for tonight's meeting. We are permitting up to 50 people to be present in the boardroom. Given the size and orientation of the boardroom, we can do this safely. Members of the public may sit in every third seat in the auditorium. The lectern will be cleaned after each speaker. As a reminder, this is a nonpartisan board, and the number one priority is the welfare of our students. Board members, we are also reminded that we have 2 minutes to speak with 30 seconds left for our final thoughts. You will hear the bell after 2 minutes. This includes a response from the superintendent and/or staff. If you are still not satisfied, however, with the answer or have additional questions, you can get back in the queue or, of course, ask the staff member or our superintendent to get back with you at a later time. The guidelines. Member Hahn, will you now read the guidelines?
Thank you, Member Gray. As we begin this afternoon's meeting, let me quickly review the format of our school board meetings. Please silence all electronic devices. There are speakers in the room behind the dais that allows board members to hear the meeting upon stepping away from the dais. This meeting can be viewed with closed captioning on the live webcast, on cable TV, and on video monitors in the auditorium. It can also be viewed with closed captioning in the online video archive.
Thank you, Member Hahn. We have one item scheduled for time certain. At 6 p.m., we have employee input. And let's talk about public comment. First, though, I believe Member Vaughn would like to mention or say something to all of us. Thank you, Member Vaughn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I said this during the workshop, but I just want to recap for anyone who wasn't watching the workshop. Unfortunately, over the break, my family was exposed to COVID-19. My husband did test positive, but luckily both me and my son were asymptomatic and have both tested negative twice, both at the beginning of quarantine and at the end, and we have been released from quarantine. So I am still wearing a mask the entire meeting and making sure that I'm social distancing from my peers up here. So thank you all for the well wishes.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Let's talk about public comment. The board welcomes comments from citizens and values your input to the board. In order to provide the most comprehensive response to your comments, our staff will follow up with you and will keep our board informed about the responses. Our school board respects the public right to speak to the board, and we appreciate you taking your time to be here. However, it is requested when you address the board comments, they are not directed personally against a board member or a staff member, but rather directed at the issues. Any behavior intended to interrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting will not be allowed. Our civility policy is in place. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly into the microphone. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. I will now call up the first speakers, and it is our pleasure. We are going to hear from Ralph Arza, Stephanie Baxter Jenkins, and then Richard Warner.
Good afternoon, Madam
Good
Chair,
afternoon.
board members, Superintendent. My name is Ralph Arza. I'm a former educator, legislator in Florida, and I represent the Florida Charter School Alliance. It's a group of charter schools. So we have small mom and pops, and we also have large organizations. We hold them to very high standards. We have supported the closure of charter schools in the state of Florida that had not performed academically or have not kept the integrity of their finances. Both in Palm Beach County and recently here in Hillsborough, we supported the closure of a school. You guys had in Mrs. Hodgins, an incredible person that knew the law. She followed the law, and she was pretty tough. She was not easy to work with, to be honest, and there was many a disagreement that we had, but she was fighting for the right thing, and that was for kids. And we always respected each other, and I believe that we can disagree without becoming disagreeable. Now, I'm here to say that as you have questions, if you have questions, I know, congratulations to the new board members that got elected. I'd like to offer that. There's a lot of misinformation where people say things like teachers are not certified or, charters play by a different set of rules. If a charter school gets 2 Fs or an F, a D, and another F, they close automatically. No questions. You can't appeal to the state, etc. However, charter schools are public schools in the state of Florida in statute. They're supported by the governor of the state. They're supported by the House of Representatives, and they're supported by the state Senate. And the only thing I would say, we did it with a former superintendent. Sometimes we'd sit down and go, where do you think you need a school? And there was South County, and we worked with that. It's not a take it or leave it proposition, and we hope that we can work with you in that manner as you guys have questions. And now, sometimes there's things in state statute that we don't have to have a local member, but we have agreed to fulfill that, or with every charter school that we represent in the Florida Charter School Alliance, to have a local member from Hillsborough County participate in that. So we have gone, I believe, above and beyond. You have an application before you by a small organization, Rise Renewable Energy. We've even had, today was approved by the Board of County Commissioners, the zoning of some area. We've had conversations about even having a possible district manage, that the nonprofit board would offer the district an opportunity to manage the school. So I would say all that to say we'd like to work in a spirit of collaboration, and I guess that's my time. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Arza. Our next speaker is Stephanie Baxter Jenkins, followed by Richard Warner. Mr. Figueroa. And thank you, thank you, Mr. Figueroa, for your kindness and for being so diligent in cleaning the podium area after each speaker. And good afternoon, Stephanie Baxter Jenkins. Hi.
Good afternoon. I am Stephanie Baxter Jenkins, Executive Director for the Hillsborough Classroom Teachers Association. Wasn't necessarily planning to come speak with you all today, but after the workshop this morning, I felt like some public commentary on the issues you were discussing was really necessary. First, I want to thank Member Vaughn for when you were dealing with things with employees asking the opinion. I'm sorry we didn't get to give that to the board, but luckily I can do it now. So in terms of the information you heard this morning, I would be the first person to tell you that I believe it is 100% accurate that the funding in this state is awful. It has been, and I don't disagree in any way with what you were presented. There is a state issue, to be sure. The piece, though, that I have an issue with is I think, while I won't say the information you got was inaccurate, I do think you got some incomplete information. And here's where I say that. We went through, you have a number of slides. I know you're all familiar with them. But one of the slides shows that without other interventions, we would be in the negative on our reserves. What is not covered in that slide is that this district is well aware, and I assume you're well aware because I am well aware, that we are scheduled to get over $200 million in January. Now, interestingly, if you add that $200 million to your budget, you suddenly are not only in the black, but in the black higher than you have been in the last number of years. So I think we were missing a big chunk of information. Now, that's CARES Act money. It's not necessarily forever, although we hear possibly till 2023. But of course, it is going to save us this time, not necessarily forever. So that isn't to say hard decisions don't need to be made. But one of the things I think, is important to say, in making a point, I think the scare tactics of Dr. Kemp and perhaps the superintendent were unnecessary, because we used terms like we were going to furlough people, we were going to not make payroll in May. So just again, your lawyers would tell you this, but for the record, I think it's worth saying, if people work, you have to pay them by law. And so if you didn't have money for some other way, you own a lot of the buildings. Most of the property in this district is owned. If you had to do a mortgage, you could, and there's many other ways you could raise money. But I think it's worth saying, you are going to pay people, you're going to make payroll with the CARES Act and with other things. I think scaring people in a time when they are already scared, when you have teachers coming back, when they are consistently worried about COVID, and we have a governor who won't preference them. You should put that on your list, by the way, that we should be preferencing our teachers and all education staff to get a vaccine. I just think that is an unnecessary scare tactic and an incomplete picture of the situation, but I look forward to offering further suggestions should you wish to have them. Thanks.
Thanks, Stephanie. Our next speaker will be Richard Warner. And this will be regarding the budget.
Good morning, everyone. I'll jump right in because 3 minutes is short. This morning's workshop was a positive step in responding to the current financial crisis. The district must make painful cost reductions almost immediately to avoid the twin disasters of running out of cash to meet payroll and falling below the minimum required general fund reserve level. As we work through this exceedingly difficult process, we need to keep in mind the two primary reasons why we find ourselves in this precarious situation. Number one, over 20 years of inadequate funding of K through 12 public education by the Florida legislature. Statewide, Florida, or nationally, Florida ranks 44th in per pupil funding among the states, some $8 billion, and that's billion with a B, below the national average. The corresponding shortage in Hillsborough County is over $500 million. Second reason is that previous administrations who, with the best of intentions, gave in to the relentless pressure to do more to improve student educational opportunities and to pay fair wages to the staff. Those pressures led to the practice of optimistic revenue budgeting and transfers from capital improvement funds, which in turn allowed unsustainable levels of expenditure to be budgeted. Keep in mind that budgeting revenue involves significant estimates. Being off just 2% means you missed it by $36 million. As we are committed to spending more than current incoming revenue allows, some of those commitments must be broken. The necessary cuts will be hugely unpopular. However, the alternative is even worse. Under a full-blown receivership, both the board members and senior administration could be removed and replaced by strangers to our community who would make cuts with much less compassion and understanding. It appears that the federal relief in the form of CARES funding of $240-some million will save the day. However, if it does not, due to the restrictions on how that money can be spent, what is Plan B to come up with $100 million that we need to avoid those twin disasters? The balance of this school year will be the most difficult period in Hillsborough County's history. If we can somehow survive this crisis, Florida voters must convince the legislature to prioritize the funding of public education in future state budgets.
And final thoughts?
In addition to that, I believe we must also ask Hillsborough County voters to approve a property tax referendum to supplement school operations, as our neighbors in Pinellas and Orange County have done.
And thank you so much, Mr. Warner. Nicely said. And we're going to go ahead, right? We're going to move into recognitions and proclamations. Superintendent Davis, I see you have a few wonderful, meaningful recognitions.
Yes, ma'am, through the chair. Thank you so very much. A01 is an acknowledgement of Mr. Lance Bacchetti. He is the Bacchetti Wealth Advisors, and he does a really nice job with making a contributions to our students and having an awesome opportunity for our students to participate, especially in the elementary model, to be able to participate in creating holiday card art through their artistic display. So I'm going to let Mr. Bacchetti come up and just talk about this scholarship and just talk about this activity that we have provided for our students through the holiday, card artwork competitions and scholarship.
Thank you, and welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
This is our 12th year that we have done this. The fun with this is our goal is to consistently continue to promote the arts in education. And as you were describing a moment ago, that your budgets are having issues and trying to get things together, if we can make our part and provide some of the art supplies and what have you for the schools, we would love to do that. The fun of this was to always go to 3 schools a year and have the art teachers work with the kids, have them create their idea of what they think the holiday season would be, draw it out, and then they submit the 5 best out of the classrooms. And from that, then we spread them across our conference table and have an entire series of folks that come in to vote on it, everything from the sheriff to the mayor to you. There's all kinds of people that just love to come in and have fun with this. So it's become quite a wonderful opportunity to get to know lots of folks here in the community too. And the reason why I'm smiling is the card that won this year was just almost a hands-down situation because it was just so absolutely cute. Each year that we get these, you just never know what the students are going to bring you, and this year was just something so special. But our goal, again, is always to promote the art and the capability, because there's a challenge I've had for our students here in Hillsborough County in the elementary level. If they can prove to me what it was that man did not use art to create. In other words, there was something that was an implement, something in their world that wasn't preceded by a drawing. I have a $10,000 check for that school. We'll say that again. It's been 12 years I've run this out here, and the kids have not quite got me an answer yet. So I don't know if the teachers have paid attention, but I seem to have got your attention now.
Yeah, 10,000.
Washington, I seem to have
All
you
my
also.
principals, if you're elementary, I hope you're watching.
We're
watching.
We're definitely going to be looking forward to the students doing this. I can always tell the teacher's penmanship, when you get there. But today I would like to have the opportunity, if you don't mind me abusing my 3 minutes here just a little bit, to be able to pass out the awards to the students and recognize the schools. And what is interesting today is we will have a $250 gift certificate for the school for each child that attends, and a $500 gift certificate for the winning school. So that'll get us started. And the other thing that we will have fun with every year is that your printing department, I don't know who's in charge of it, but it used to be Ziggy, was my guy, that would do all of the printing of the Christmas cards. So we would actually take and produce the holiday cards right through your printing center, so that 100% of the money dedicated to this didn't go to Quickie Print, it went here. The kids' awards went here. So the whole idea was to keep everything centralized within the school system as we did this for you. So it's a blast. As you can tell, I don't enjoy doing this by the smile on my face. So we'll start calling for our students and their teachers. We be a little disjointed this year. I apologize because of COVID, but I didn't invite COVID to the party. Neither. Our first ones that we have today is a wonderful person by the name of Perry Taylor. Are you here? From Ballast Point Elementary. Did Perry make it? Oh, wow. Thank you, sir. All right. You recognize that card? Mm-hmm. That's your picture? I recognize your handwriting. Congratulations, that's for you. And this one is for the school, for the teacher, to be able to hang up in the room and recognize what we have going on. We have 2 awards, and that is you. Terrific. And do we have the Ballast Point? There we go. All righty. And for 3rd place, we have Justin Graham. Yes, sir. There you are. Mr. Graham, I love your cardinal. That color is bright and brilliant, and because of what you did, there's going to be $250 going to the school, hopefully to inspire other students to be as artistic as you. Are you the teacher? You're the father. Okay. You're the teacher. Oh, the proud principal. Okay, there you go. Thank you so much. Everybody's hiding behind their mask. Congratulations for your son. How terrific. We have a Milena Downey. Did I say that right, Milana? Okay. I love the tropical look here. This is so pretty. Do you notice the tropical look? How this is, not that we should ever mention anything about the beach here in Florida. What a terrific job. Congratulations. That's for you. Your school's going to get $250. And my principal. Yay. And the very last one we have is the Little Award. And this one is what I was talking about. This is just too cute. The bunnies is actually what sold everybody, was the fact because the bunny has ear warmers on. If you look at it really close, this was just over the top. But our artist here is Victoria. Are you here? Oh, the teacher's here. Okay, well, you have to take this on behalf of Victoria. This one is definitely hers with her art, the original, and the card that it turned into from the front to the back, and everything's there. And I believe your school won twice, didn't it? Just once. Okay. What was the school that won twice? There you go. So that was terrific. I thank you all for the opportunity to have this chance and to continue this fun with the kids. Thank you.
Hold on,
Forget
Mr.
about
Bacardi. I hope I pronounced it right.
Yes, you did.
I did. Oh, good. I would love, if this would be okay with you, to have the children line up here so we can get a photo with their pictures, their illustrations, and then we can be part of that.
You bet.
Okay. So, stay here. Here they come. Mr. Bacardi, absolutely, and the principal as well. Yeah, so, oh, we gotta be, yeah, we have to be very responsible, so spread apart as best you can. And we're very proud of you, I mean, absolutely.
And come on over and we'll
You can,
take
keep-
a socially distanced photo. I know.
Okay, thank you. All right, congratulations.
Mr. Bakai, thank you so very much for your 12 years of dedication and commitment to our school district, and continue to support the visual arts in our school district, and being able to be that continued partner. So we're grateful to know that. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yay. All right, so our next recognition is, and this will be done by Anne Marie Courtney, the Supervisor of Philanthropy and Special Programs, and she will be, hi Anne Marie, you will be presenting the recognition, and boy oh boy, this is a great one. So board members, you may have some comments after this presentation about the teachers. Hint, hint, Teacher of the Year. Go ahead.
Yep, yes, ma'am. So I'll kick this off real fast, and before I release it to Ms. Courtney, what a great opportunity for us to acknowledge the hard work of individuals that have been identified for the Recognition of Excellence in Education 2021 Award finalists for Teacher of the Year, and at the same time with Ida S. Baker Diversity Educator of the Year, and also Instructional Support Employee of the Year. While we have finalists, my hat's off to each of you for your dedication, but understand this: we have individuals that have been identified at every school this year as a Teacher of the Year, Support Personnel of the Year, and please know that each of you are winners, each of you are heroes, and you continue to do the impossible. So I thank you for your efforts, your continued dedication, and I look forward to our partnership in the future. But for tonight, we will celebrate the finalists for a job well done, and thank you for being exemplars within our district. Ms. Courtney.
Thank you. Good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Davis, and staff. The annual Excellence in Education Awards event, in partnership with Hillsborough Education Foundation, provides an opportunity to acknowledge the amazing employees throughout Hillsborough schools and celebrate the school site nominees for Instructional Support Employee of the Year, Ida S. Baker, Diversity Educator of the Year, and Teacher of the Year. The Excellence in Education event on January 21st, 2021 will acknowledge over 680 plus district nominees from school sites and district sites in 3 categories. This year's Masquerade Theme Awards event is being held virtually. Next slide, please. For all participating attendees in accordance to our safety guidelines, the virtual event will be a combination of pre-recorded content, introduction of our 12 award finalists, and the live reveal of the 3 district winners who will represent our district in the 3 categories. The pre-show social begins at 5:30 p.m. Next slide. The awards ceremony will follow at 6 p.m. I encourage everyone to register for the event to enjoy surprise visits from local celebrities, acknowledge all of our 680 plus nominees, and celebrate the outstanding 12 finalists. It is my privilege to introduce these 12 finalists to you at this time. Your Instructional Support Employees of the Year finalists are Meredith Bippen, Rogers Middle School. She's a Secretary 1. Michael Helton, Dawson Elementary School, a Student Nutrition Service Manager.
Lynn Jones, Mitchell Elementary School, ESE paraprofessional. At this time, board, would you stand so we can take a photograph with these amazing finalists? Thank you. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the Ida S. Baker Diversity Educator of the Year finalist, Anglin Brown Mosley from Youth Services. She's a VE support facilitator. Charday Duffy from Woodson PK8. Sorry, I gave you a little bit more students, huh? Woodson PK8, and she's a library media specialist. Amanda Palmer from Hunters Green Elementary, a VE teacher. And Selena Perez, Smith Middle School, physical education teacher. Board, if you would stand, please. The next award category goes to our Teacher of the Year finalists. It's my pleasure to introduce Nicolette Dewsbury from Mann Middle School, media specialist. Adora Kondash from Witter Elementary School, kindergarten teacher. Laura Meehan, Caminetti Exceptional Center, music specialist. Adetola Shakumbi, Belmont Elementary School, third grade teacher. And Katie Strawlings, McFarland Park Elementary School, second grade teacher. Board, if you would stand. Thank you for the opportunity to bring these amazing, outstanding professionals to meet you, and I look forward to having all of you come virtually to celebrate with us on the 21st. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Courtney. And we might have some board comments. Member Snively, would you like to make a remark?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I want to say thank you to Ms. Courtney for all the hard work. I know that this is a big production. It's a little different this year. It looks a lot different this year, but normally it's a huge production, and I'm glad that we can still have this event and this ceremony to honor all of our professionals and recognize the hard work, the dedication, and the commitment that they make to our students every single day. And so just want to say thank you, congratulations, best wishes to all of you. It's a very exciting time of year, and we look forward to seeing you on the virtual masquerade. I'm not sure how to wear the masks for this one. Is it going to be like over our whole face? Like that? Or
So to do. Watch out for this one.
I know, you gotta watch out. But just trying to be like a little bit of lightness. But just wanted to say congratulations, and just how indebted we are to everything that you do every single day in and day out. And I know that your administrators are also very, very proud to have you. I can see them all nodding in the back. Very, very proud to have you as finalists as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Snively. Member Vaughn?
I would just like to mirror much of what Ms. Snively said, and just thank you so much, everyone, for your hard work and your dedication every day to serve our students. It's such an honor to be here with you guys, and I'm so glad that there's something to recognize the hard work of all of our teachers and staff. So congratulations, and thank you so much.
And thank you, Member Vaughn. And of course, we all are so appreciative of all the hours and the preparation and the heartfelt goodwill that you give to each and every student in every capacity. And we know that you make a positive difference in our students' lives, especially during this COVID time when times are so very, very difficult. So just know this board and her superintendent staff appreciate everything and who you are. Do stay safe, stay committed, of course, and we'll see you on Zoom. Thank you. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Okay, so as they're leaving, we're going to get ready for a proclamation. So without further ado, this proclamation is about the condemnation of the violent protests in Washington, D.C. On January 6, 2021. And I have to read this carefully because it's in very small font. So just pardon me. I think I'll get adjusted here shortly, but at least my eyes will. Whereas Hillsborough County is the 7th largest school district in the nation, and whereas as school board members and educators, we strive to be role models for our students and the public to foster a respectful environment for learning and for life, and whereas the events that happened in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., on January 6, 2021, when protesters stormed the halls of the United States Congress, shocked the nation and the world, and whereas the unlawful behavior demonstrated by the protesters is the antithesis of the behavior we teach to and expect from our students, and whereas the violation of the United States Capitol posed a grave danger to not only the brave officers defending the building and the members of Congress, but to the nation's ideals, and whereas such behavior cannot be endured in silence, therefore be proclaimed that the School Board of Hillsborough County, Florida, condemns the violent attack on the United States Capitol and vows to support our students as we guide them through this tumultuous time. Thank you. I need a motion. I have a motion by Karen Perez, second by Member Washington. All in favor, vote when the lights are on. Oh, sorry. Any discussion? Oh, sorry. Member Perez, go ahead.
Thank you. The events of this week that involved the breach of our Capitol building, the threat to our democracy, while witnessing the racial and ethnic intolerances, and then the deaths of injuries of fellow Americans is truly another great tragedy that rides on many troubling events from this past year. We are also experiencing significant increases in COVID-19 and hospitalizations. While keeping focus on our students and getting our teachers vaccinated in order to protect them and working to hopefully bring this pandemic to an end. The toll on our students, teachers, and families is apparent. At times, our movement forward can be intermixed with movement backwards. However, we have to, together, continue to look after our students and teachers and those who need us during these times. It is also important for all of us to engage, reach out, and support one another. There is so much that we can do together, remembering that our children are watching and their mental health matters. As leaders, as well as our mental health professionals, we have the expertise and the ability to talk through these issues. We must be intolerant of racial, ethnic, and all types of discriminatory behaviors. Our students observe our very movements and behaviors, all while being carefully tuned into our actions or lack of actions. Our path here in Hillsborough County Schools forward must continue to be one of inclusion and holding others accountable for their actions, behaviors, and statements that are intended to harm others. We all come from different backgrounds, have different life experiences. However, at the end of the day, we all want to be treated with respect and feel safe and comfortable, not only in our schools, but at home as well. Everyone has a voice, and we must support those courageous voices. When those voices are heard, we are able to build better future generations who can use this energy creatively. The depth and diversity of our students is the cornerstone of everything we do. I charge everyone to be there for each other and have the courage to stand up and address intolerant behaviors and actions. Please also recognize that some children and students will not communicate their emotional pain or distress. However, many do so if afforded the opportunity and the forum where they feel safe and can be heard. We must create these environments or strengthen those environments that respect, honor, value our celebrated differences, promoting honesty in communications and truthful speech alongside acceptance of others while ensuring accountability for actions and behaviors is a part of our way forward. I remain hopeful for this year, hopeful for our country, and I look forward to us finally getting a handle on this pandemic so that we can better connect and engage. This will allow time and space for our country to heal. We are not finished just yet, but we will get through this together. And as I've said before and will continue to say again, now more than ever, please be there for each other.
Thank you, Member Perez. Well said. Member Vaughn?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Member Perez. That was very thoughtful and heartfelt, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for bringing forward this proclamation. In general, I was just wondering about the language, specifically referring to the members that took siege on the Capitol as protesters. I find that they were more terrorists or rioters than protesters. So I would just like to go on record to making that point in regards to the language in the proclamation. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Member Snively?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for bringing this to our attention as a board. I feel strongly that as leaders in the community, we have to role model for our children and our students and for community members the proper behavior of adults and professionals. And I also just wanted to take a moment to thank our House and Senate members in the Florida legislature who are also proposing legislation to protect peaceful protests and combat violent disorder. And this is sponsored by House Speaker Chris Sprowls, Senate President Wilton Simpson, State Representative Juan Fernandez Barquin, and State Senator Danny Burgess, who's one of our delegation members. And just to quote Senator Burgess from our delegation, "We are a nation of law and order, not violence, destruction, and unrest. We respect the right to peacefully protest, but the shameful conduct we witnessed at the United States Capitol today and episodes of violent civil unrest that we have witnessed over the last several months have no place in our democracy." And so just wanted to say that there are a lot of people that on both sides of the aisle that feel that this was a very, very unfortunate event that happened at the Capitol, and just wanted to laud Member Gray for bringing forward a proclamation today.
Thank you, Member Snively. And I also want to share my appreciation for you helping me word the proclamation. When you start getting involved in any political statements, as you can well imagine, it is very, it harbors a lot of difficulties. Yet, for the sake of our children, their welfare, and the need for role modeling, it has to begin with leadership. And we are sitting here in unison, and we agree that as a board, and I'm sure our superintendent and his staff agree, that nonviolence is the best way of respecting viewpoints and getting to the meat of getting to the bottom of the matter. We have to lead as leaders a life of integrity. We are public servants, and we have to always remember that keep your eye on the ball. The children's eyes are looking at us, and we don't want violence from any part of this dais. And we also want them to be proud of their country and salute the flag. And those tribulations that should be done as a regular part of their life. But nonetheless, I'm done with all that talk. And I want to thank the board, too, because you didn't have to raise your hand or say yes to the proclamation, but yet you did, and I appreciate that. So, and thank you, Member Perez, for speaking so eloquently, and I know that came from your heart as well. Thank you very much.
Now, Madam Chair, we need to vote on the board.
Okay, now it's necessary to vote. So please vote when your lights are on. Thank you. All votes Member Hahn? Yep, she's voted. Okay, thanks, Member Hahn. We didn't forget you, but I almost did. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Okay, now it's unanimous. Okay, going to our next feature. I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Member Combs, and I have a second by Member Perez. Please vote when your lights appear. Okay. And it is unanimous. Okay, that is done. The consent agenda has been approved. We're right up to, drum roll, we move into Superintendent Davis' comments.
All right, through the chair, thank you so very much, and well said tonight, Ms. Perez and everyone, related to what has happened in our nation. I think overall we need to continue to focus on unifying together, and as Ms. Snively said, continue to be role models for our communities. Before I start, I'd like to send our heartfelt condolences to the entire Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and the family of Corporate Brian Levine. Corporate Levine was tragically killed last night in the line of duty, and today would have been his last day. So overall, we grieve together as a community, and we thank Corporate Levine for his continued service in this community. And we're thankful, and we're here for each and every one of them. So overall tonight, I wanted to spend some time talking. First of all, congratulations for the performance on the plaza. As Dr. Hahn said, Blake did a really nice job with our performing arts, and our harp instructor, Mrs. Irwin, in the duet with Mrs. Cox and also Mrs. With James as well, did a fantastic job. Thank you so very much for continuing to be actively engaged in the performing arts at Blake and being leaders within our school district. But overall, we want to talk about the graduation rate for Hillsborough County was recently released, which is a significant celebration, to give an update on the Families First Corona Response Act. Also review our quarantine process as we strengthen that process as an organization, and then be able to talk about potential vaccines for educators, and then being able to share some recognitions for some of our school-based leaders that are here with us this evening. So overall, when graduation rates were released recently as of last week, what a celebration for Hillsborough County. And this has contributed to the hard work of our parents, of our employees, of our students, of our school counselors, or as our school-based leaders, principals, assistant principals, and everyone and district staff has had a cohesive approach to being able to help our children find pathways to success. The congratulations part is that for 6 straight years, we have improved in the graduation rate with 88.8%. We know that the class of 20 has had it really difficult related to the activities that we have provided. But overall, what a great significant moving from 86.4 to 88.8, and showing and demonstrating their commitment to being able to have short-term and long-term goals as they seek to become full option graduates as they transition to the military, the workforce, or to post-secondary education. When we look at the overall comparison, this is a 7-year comparison between Hillsborough County and the state of Florida. While we see there's an upward tick in the last couple years, historically since 2013, 2014, we do see that Hillsborough County continues to move in the right direction. We know there were waivers last year that contributed some of this success, not only in Hillsborough, throughout the state of Florida. And we're thankful for our leaders continue to identify our students who continue to exhibit the right direction. This is great movement and a commitment from past leadership and current leadership to be able to do some special things for children. One of the things I think is the greatest celebration is when we look at all of our subgroups and sub-pockets of Hillsborough counties, whether you look at ethnic group, whether you look at students with disabilities or English language learners or free and reduced lunch. The biggest thing I want to see, if you look at the 5-year trend going back from 15-16 all the way to 19-20, the 5-year trend, the celebration is what the school district has done for students with disabilities. We see, a plus, 22% movement related to graduation, greater concentration on students, more resources provided, independent practice from our teachers and our school counselors. They're doing a really magnificent job helping our students meet all of the statutory requirements. In addition to that, we have students and English language learners. We're going to make certain that ongoing educational interventions are provided, making certain we have the right curriculum, and giving our students a sense of hope along the way. And 25% is monumental growth in the last 5 years. Our job will be hard to make sure that's systemic. But when you look at these numbers, you just see some great things are happening, not only from a 1-year difference perspective, but overall from a 5-year commitment. And that's a hard work of our administrators and our staff and our teachers and our staff at the high school level. And then looking at all of our schools, some celebrations holistically overall. For the first time, every one of our graduation rates are over 80% at 27 of our schools. Next year will be 28 at Sumner. Of that, 11 schools have a graduation rate over 95%, and that's a great achievement to be acknowledged. And we see that Newsom High School had the highest graduation rate at 98.8, as is Snively, and they are setting the bar. This is a challenge to every one of our other high schools to continue to work and help our students find pathways. And then also the celebration is 24 of the 27 of our high schools. They demonstrated growth in this particular area. And my hats off goes to Jefferson High School. They had the greatest increase in growth. Not the highest rate, but 7.5% increase. That's a number of high school students that are meeting the threshold and being able to hit that criteria. Then also Blake High School should be acknowledged for their hard work for 6.6%, and Lato High School as well with a 5%. There's a lot to be celebrated, and we see that overall demonstrating systemic movement in the 5-year differential with the highest gains. We see that Lato, Hillsborough High School, and Chamberlain and Middleton High Schools continue to show that this is a systemic approach to really helping children reach their aspirations inside and outside of our classroom. So hats off to all those celebrations for all of our high schools as we move forward. When you look at overall, look at the Big 7 and surrounding counties, this gives you a 2013-2014 systemic approach to the last 5 years of where we actually rank. And you see that if you look at 13-14, we ranked 9th out of the Big 7 and also surrounding counties as well. And then you see last year in 19-20, we were ranked 8th overall. And we see that we continue to have a concentration in this area. The goal was 90 by 20. And we will continue to keep that goal for 90% as it is in our grasp. But hats off to the leadership for having that remarkable threshold to be able to potentially be obtained, and for us to continue to make that a priority as we move forward in the 2021 school year to be able to make that a reality. And at the same time, looking at the difference where we currently rank. So I'm not competitive at all, but I'd like to be able to show where we are. And for every other school district, whether it's cultural perspective, whether it's instructionally perspective, our job is to compete every single day, and we'll see an upward tick in the forecastability moving forward. And then areas of opportunity. What can we do to continue to have systemic growth in this particular area? And that's to make certain that we continue to refine our data tracking system and our data dashboards and process to assist schools to be able to monitor the graduation cohorts, to be able to look at monthly and devise monthly graduation review meetings with district staff and school-based staff, to look at strategies that are being implemented within our schools, and also look at the number of graduates, whether it's looking at the numerator and the denominator, and figuring out what we can do to really particularly create and help children get to that finish line. And then also, we think we ought to start having a greater focus on our college readiness scores. While the state got away from putting the college readiness scores in our accountability system, we've got to really focus and celebrate those who are doing a really nice job with PSAT, SAT, and ACT, and make that a reality to highlight within our organization. And also leverage ACT and SAT boot camps and prep opportunities coupled with school-based resources. Our schools are doing a really nice job etching out and providing ongoing support. And then being able to potentially launch Acceleration Academy to look at-risk students who may not be able to succeed in a traditional setting. What can we do to create that a different learning environment for our students that gives them an opportunity to excel, and that we can put social workers, psychologists, teachers who really know how to work with at-risk students to help them be successful, and then continue to have multiple SAT days to focus on reading and math that gives them extended time to be successful throughout the process. And the next step we want to talk about is the Family First Corona Response Act. Overall, we know that this was extended to December 31st, and this is where individuals who are impacted by coronavirus and COVID-19 and they did not have the availability or could not work due to a sickness, due to a daycare closure, due to being quarantined, due to a school closure. What this act allowed us to do is, through December 31st, is allow an employee to hit many thresholds and to pay them 2/3 of their salary if they had to take this particular leave. Congress did not extend this moving forward for the second semester starting on January 1. However, we will, as a school district, we will extend this to June 30th. We know the overall cost was around $1.7 million overall to our school district for our employees. We will continue to extend this and leverage our CARES 2 Act money to be able to cover this. For any employee that have used this last week or the last or a Monday, please let us please continue to work with your school base and our HR department. We will make certain that you get credited back any type of sick leave that you've used so that you can feel comfortable. I will be sending an email out this evening so that we can validate this information and what types of forms we'll be able to use. So we will continue to cover this. It's the right thing to do for our employees, and we'll leverage federal funding to do so. And then quarantine. One of the biggest things that we continue to talk about is our students who are quarantined and their experiences and how we further support teachers. We know their plate is continuing to be monumental during this time, but what we can do to really help teachers, help parents, help students during the quarantine, because we know there's different variations. And this is at no one's fault. This is hard work. We've got teachers that are teaching from a simultaneous perspective, that are teaching brick and mortar, and students are going to quarantine, so being able to flex and pivot. They've done a really nice job. So how do we help this? And we've had individuals that are on this board help us strengthen this process. So one thing we've done is we created an administrator's checklist to really ensure the connectivity of our students who are being quarantined, and also being able to develop a quarantine help center. And we'll send that information out. That help center, it really talks about for parents and for students. It leverages and identifies CDC guidelines. It talks about resources for mental health, because we know a number of our students and families could be potentially impacted. How do we not only address that from a student's perspective to look at any type of stigmas, any type of racism connected to that, and then being able to provide ongoing COVID tips for the foundations for our families. And then it goes on to provide core content, literacy, mathematics, along with phonics supports, and it drills down and provides links for ongoing opportunities for our families to have content involved for them to be successful. Mr. Connor, anything you want to add to that?
No, we're in the final stages. The Help Center will be on our district website, and we'll be launching that in the beginning of the second semester. And we will be leveraging, and I want to thank Ms. Combs for some of her suggestions when we met with her regarding how we can help strengthen that. We took some of those suggestions to build some video lessons for students when they don't have that live instruction going on with their teacher because the teacher is teaching brick and mortar and it's hard for them to get that live instruction. We took some recorded lessons that we're kind of curating and putting together on a website so that students can kind of keep pace with what topics should be covered in those courses during that time frame. We know teachers are not necessarily on a day-to-day schedule with their pacing. They're within 2 weeks time, so we're flexing to make sure that we're covering those topics within that time frame.
Thanks, sir. And then in addition, and one thing we talked about is vaccine. You know, if we're going to ask our teachers to be in the forefront of, of our children, to ask them to come back to work, we've got to figure out how to create movement. And we're going to lock arms with local chambers, and I've been able to speak with one today, going to tomorrow, and also being able to speak with, civic leaders that I spoke with last week. They've also drafted letters to be able to send to the governor to make it a priority. We understand that we want to be able to address those who are essential with health care and mental health as well, and 65 years of older. But we've got to get teachers in the pipeline to be able to help them through this process because they are in the trenches every single day. I drafted a letter that I sent in mid-December to the governor asking for this asking for the vaccine, and I am working diligently through Mrs. Brown, the Department of Health, to be able to provide potential opportunities for educators who qualify for Tier 1. I have to give hats off to MacDill Air Force Base. They have made it a priority to vaccinate every one of their teachers on staff. To date, they've already extended to, I think, between 8 and 10 of our teachers. The remaining have confirmation and schedules to do so. Thank you for being a leader, and this is through vaccines that they received from the governor perspective. And then finally, acknowledgments. We have 2 new leaders that will approve this evening. The first one is an interim principal at Roosevelt Elementary. This is Miss Denise Wheatley. She comes with a range of many years of education. She started education back in, I think, Hinesville, Georgia, starting off as an elementary teacher, transitioned to Hillsborough County in 2001 or 2, and has been teaching, being able to teach at the elementary level, just really working to have some fascinating opportunities for children. Dedicated administrator, has worked as an assistant principal for 4 or 5 years at Tinker K-8, and for the last year and a half has been working at Roosevelt Elementary. I think it's a really nice opportunity for us to acknowledge this leader. She goes in, has an opportunity to continue to connect with the community, with our teachers. Teachers have made it very clear they support her in this effort, and we look forward to helping her through this process. So, Mrs. Wheatley, will you please stand up? Acknowledge you. Congratulations. Thank you so very much. And, welcome to the everyday fun of the leader. It's sometimes it's lonely in that seat, I can tell you that. But it is the best job to have, other than a teacher, is to be a principal. You get a chance to impact adults and also a chance to be able to impact students in the community. So we'll be there to support you, and congrats. Also, we have you're welcome. Another leader that is no stranger to Hillsborough County. As we know that Dave Brown was a remarkable leader. He opened up Sumner High School. He opened up Strawberry Crest. He's been a high school principal for 14 years. And I've got to tell you, as a former high school principal, that's a long time, and it is very taxing position. And not only is it taxing, but you add COVID, you add, you take away your ability to focus on instruction. Now you're focused on quarantine. You're really trying to remove barriers for teachers to further support them. And openly, he's ready for a new phase in his career. He will be taking on a supervisor position within the district to lead social studies, which has been a vacancy and definitely one that we needed. And so for us, it's me to figure out how I go and find a leader that can step right in and continue. Because Sumner's a brand new school. It's one that we have. It's a really unique. It's not only do we have 9-12, but we have a 6th grade academy of 2027. There's strictly level 3 high level coordination, and to be able to find someone to be able to recruit this individual back. He's been in education for 25 years. Of that time, it's all been in Hillsborough County. He was a teacher at Pierce. He was an assistant principal at Plant, and decided that, he's going to be able to transition as a principal at Plant High School for 10 years. There he had some of the greatest advanced placement analytics. He moved the graduation rate there for Plant to 95%. 95%, and he has raised over $1 million during his tenure at Plant High School to be able to support the learning. And from there, he went on to be a principal supervisor to really help principals enhance their craft and help them through the many different avenues they have. But I'm proud to announce the new leader that will continue the great work that David Brown has established in the new culture at Sumner, and that is Mr. Rob Nelson. Thank you. So thank you, and welcome back, sir. I know you spent some time with your family, and we're grateful for you to take this opportunity. So thank you. And then also notable appreciations, and I promise I'll get out of this and relieve it back to the board. You know, every time I go to schools, I always get into a part where I'm interacting with teachers, I'm interacting with support staff, secretarial staff, administrative staff, assistant principals. They are always in the work of quarantining and doing contract tracing and contacting our COVID commander and Department of Health and our risk management to come in and our safety team to come in and clean. You know what? I want to say this: we have not taken the eye off of instruction. We continue to make that our focal point. But we've really focused on the well-being of our students and our teachers to make it create a safe place. And I could not go further without acknowledging our environmental cleaning crew and school-based custodial staff members. CC Culpepper has been a tremendous leader as the Director of Safety and Risk Management. I mean, we're texting at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning with me, Farkas, whether it be Mr. Newman, whether it be Jennifer Sperano, all to make sure we have the classrooms ready to go. And then the COVID commander, Jennifer Sperano, has led her team in an efficient manner. I mean, she's not afraid to even tell me what I should and should not be doing. When I try to have a meeting, she's always one to really, have some crucial conversations with me about what I can and can't do. And they've done some remarkable work, and my hat's off to each of them for their hard work. And thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. Just a real quick question. I just wanted to note, too, on the subgroup graduation data, the two groups that I wanted to highlight also, along with the ELL and the at-risk, but also quite a great graduation growth from the Hispanic and the Black communities. 12.9 on the Hispanic, and the Black had a raise of 12.8%. So I thought that was quite notable. And one final question too on the quarantine and the teacher's sick leave. We have to figure out. There might be an answer already, but I'm just not sure. How are we going to handle the teachers who have used up all their sick leave and are getting quarantined? Is that?
Yeah, so through the chair, anyone that is quarantined and they're able to work remotely, they will not have to use any of their leave whatsoever. However, anybody that it requires that cannot work remotely, then this is where the FFCRA Act came in the first semester, and that we're committing to help them through the second semester. So, Dr. Whalen, anything else that I may have missed to that? So, many school districts are facing the challenge to find that funding, and we'll use the federal funding to be able to cover the second part of the year. So, if there's individuals that need to take an extended leave through FMLA that will still be available to them, then I think that's a 10-week period. But we will continue to make certain that we identify those who can and cannot work and help them through this process.
Thank you for that explanation. And board, I apologize. I shouldn't have jumped right in front. I didn't know we had speakers, but we do. We have board comments. Member Snively.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, Mr. Superintendent, for your comments this evening. First, I just want to say congratulations to all of the schools and the district and all of the people who had an impact on improving our graduation rates. That was a project that has been our eye has been on that for several years through several board memberships, and I know that you're very proud of this school district, and I know that our teachers and our administrators and this board is also very proud of all the accomplishments. There's still work to do, obviously. These numbers are not perfect. There's always room for improvement. I'm very proud, especially of Newsom High School. I think that's a great feather in their cap, and I might be just a little biased because I had a graduate from there that helped with the graduation rate. So, but hey, and Newsom, watch out because Steinbrenner is on your heels. just putting it out there because I'm not competitive either, right? I did have a question on the FFCRA. Well, the fact that we're not that it expired. You had mentioned that it was 1.7 million. Was that what that was already paid out for the first half of the year? Or is that what's projected for the entire school year? What's that 1.7 million?
And I'll let Dr. Whalen address that.
Those were for the days of absences from July 1 to present.
Okay, so
the
that's
first
about
week
half of
January.
the year.
Yes.
Now, where is the funding going to be coming from? Are you expecting to pay through the CARES Act funding that's coming to the district? Is that how we're going to fund this for the rest of the school year?
Yes, ma'am, through the chair. Yes, ma'am, through the rest of the school year, we would use the additional funding that has been identified through CARES 2.
Okay, and then I just had a quick thank you to Mr. Connor for addressing the instruction during quarantine. Have had several parents very frustrated about the consistency of education while their student is in quarantine. So thank you, Ms. Combs, for the recommendations that you made to improve the instruction during students quarantining. And thank you to Ms. Brown for helping with some communications and enforcing some of the information about questions around what happens during quarantine, setting the expectations for parents and students for quarantining that folks have had. So thank you very much for that information and for your support.
Thank you, Member Snively. Member Perez?
Thank you, Member Gray. The graduation rate for the Hispanics, I know that our Hispanic population is 18%. What is the rate of certificates of graduation that they're receiving?
Yes, ma'am, to the chair. I'll have to get that number for you. We can definitely get it. Historically, it was a large number of our students in the Hispanic range for certificates of completion. But I'll give that number so you'll be able to have it. And we got to work through that. We've got to get our children on the pathway with they're having degrees in their hand. But we'll make sure it's a concentration every single day.
The problem I have with the certificate of graduation is that doesn't serve our children for their progression in life.
Agree.
And so on the heels of that, looking at the tests in the native language for these students would more than likely improve that, decrease the certificates of graduation, and increase the amount of our students, Hispanic students, that receive diplomas from this district.
I agree.
And then also, I wanted to speak to the COVID-19 leave. I'm excited about the proposal for their leave. What happens if a teacher or administrator or whoever has the COVID-19, but then they have a family member that they need to take care of, and so on and so forth? Because we see that groups of our families are getting COVID.
Dr. Whalen, you want to address that?
That would also be covered with the extension. It includes family members for those situations.
It's not out of their sick leave, right? This is totally different.
Right. There's the leave to care for a family member as well.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Perez. And we're going to go right over to Member Combs.
I had a quick question also. I mean, what exactly is the process for those teachers and non-instructional staff in order to get that sick leave?
Go ahead. Through the chair, there's an opportunity for them to fill out a document they have to complete. I'll let Dr. Whalen walk through that.
Yes, so again, this is only for our employees that are unable to telework. So this is the same process that we've been using since the springtime and how we have been tracking and coding those things for our employees. So it will be the same process. We have a revised leave form that has the new date on it that we will continue to track, and we're tracking it by date. So again, it's only if it needs to be accessed due to an employee's inability to telework.
And I've had, Superintendent Davis, I've had quite a few people ask me about the exams and what is it looking like for the end of the course exams, and how about the FSA?
Yes, ma'am, to the chair. So we are in the midst of end of the course examinations. We kind of suspended those related to the first semester exams. First semester exam. As it relates to in the course examinations right now they're on the docket to be able to take. FSA through the state of Florida, they are right now have had a conversation with the Chancellor of Education, and they are moving forward as of right now with all of our students being able to being required to take the assessments. I expressed that this is going to be an overarching concern for us because a number of our schools are not going to be able to meet the threshold with the overall system related to the accountability system, or whether it's a bottom quartile, whether it's being able to meet a threshold for a number of students that have taken the assessment, because we're going to have overall they're going to ask students who are on or remote learning, they're going to ask them to come back to our schools and take that assessment. Our role and responsibility will be able to create a safe testing environment, but psychologically we may not have parents that feel that that's just the safest environment for their learner. That is going to openly hinder the overall results and impact of our school's performance, because you got to have over 95% of your students assessed, and you've got to have a certain number of our students in those sub pockets that are administered throughout the accountability system, and a lot of our schools won't meet that threshold. And we're going to have a number of our schools who are underperforming, and they are DNF schools who will not have a lowest quartile because they may not have sufficient number of students in that denominator. And the schools that are underperforming usually stride by using and leveraging reading gains, bottom quartile gains, and if they don't have that to make up in the denominator to be able to push forward, it's going to hinder them tremendously. And the state's already said, and they did a predictor analysis, that we're going to have more DNFs if they continue to ask our students to come and take this assessment, and at the same time being able to give school and district grades. So it's going to be difficult.
So at this point, it looks like we're still moving forward?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Member Combs and Superintendent Davis. Great question. Member Vaughn?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Number one, my question is we kind of transition back from the break that we had. Our numbers are rising drastically on our dashboard. And at the last meeting, we had a lot of conversation about whether our schools are safe and celebrating the fact that, we were lucky that they didn't turn out to be the super spreaders that we had thought. But as we see, the dashboard is the highest it's ever been consistently every day since coming back. One question is, what are we doing in order to address that? And number two, what is our positivity rate right now? Because originally we had a staff of health professionals talk about the rate that we wanted to look at and the percentage to make sure that we were within that. So where are we currently in regards to kind of the numbers and coming back? And then if I have time, I have one question after that.
Yes, ma'am, through the chair. So right now we did see a spike in the first couple of days when we came back. It was a greater spike than we had during Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving break, when we had that fall break, we didn't see a major impact. However, the more time that we had off, it demonstrated that there was additional gatherings with family and loved ones. And I get it, we're in the winter break, but it truly impacted us. We are in no point, way, shape, or form to that 15% threshold related to individualized schools. That is that we start looking and raising the flag at 10% of the student body that's been quarantined out. We were not there related to individualized schools. Anytime that we get to a point where it's 15% or higher, we start to look at can we and do we have sufficient staff, not only administrative staff, but educator staff to be able to connect and serve our children, and do we have proper coverage? We haven't had that at scale right now to be able to make those decisions. Overall, I do believe between 12 and 13% was our positive rate in our county, not in Hillsborough County Public Schools, but overall within our county at scale. When you look at the overall rates, and I'm trying to see if someone may have this dashboard up to be able to tell us where we are overall.
We're at 15.38%
As a county, gotcha. We see that increase. So that's increased over the last week as well. For us, we're continuing to educate our students and educate our families about how they continue to take the proper hygiene for themselves, with washing hands, wearing masks, not being in large gatherings. It becomes very difficult though in the educational setting, because we have a number of our students that are coming back. Of the 78,000 students that we polled alongside with addressing that through charter and public schools, we have 14,000 students that have asked to come back. Through the second semester, we knew that was going to be a spike. What that does do openly, it creates challenges in our common areas, whether it's in our hallways and in our lunchrooms, in our classrooms. But teachers are continuing to figure out how they modify their environment in order to create the best social distancing they can. And openly, it's really hard to do.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. Excellent question. I think we're up. Member Snively, what was the spread?
15.38% is the 14-day.
15.38%. Yeah, it's high.
We had before the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Very, very good point.
That's the county rate.
The county rate. Okay, Member Washington.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I want to thank all the teachers and the administrators and parents and community, because when you look at the graduation rate, everybody has to participate to help out. And I can see over the years from when I was a high school principal myself, the rate has continued. It dropped, but now people are much more aware of having a high school diploma, which is very important. And I can see more of the parents out helping their students to get to finish high school. And that's very important, people. You can't get jobs if you don't have a high school diploma. I mean, you really can't. And it's so important for all of us, not only the people in this room, but the people in the community, the people in all areas of life to help out. And we are fortunate because our teachers and administrators and parents have done a great job in Hillsborough County to get the rate up. And we're going to continue doing it, Superintendent. I feel that. I feel we're going to continue to do it because they realize the importance of having a high school diploma. And we just got to work together. Everybody got to work together. I know it's hard times. It's difficult times. We have to work as a team, not only as a district team, but in the community as a team, all around the city as a team. And I think we can bring it up higher than this, too. I just want to add that positive part on it because we really have worked hard. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Washington, and what a great motivating, glance at what our future hopefully will be. And I shouldn't say hopefully, it will be. Member Vaughn, and then we're going to get right to our agenda items. We have a few pooled items. Member Vaughn?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and thank you for that positive spin on things. I hate to go back into asking questions about the pandemic, but unfortunately that's where we're at. So two more questions I had regarding the pandemic. One, are parents able to still make choices to go back and switch if they have chosen brick and mortar and they see the alarming rates and they want to re-question that? They can make choices to go back. And kind of in lieu with that is, for the online classes that we have, the e-learning classes, are we guaranteeing teachers the right to teach those from the comfort of their home where they're comfortable and safe, or are we asking them to come back and do simultaneous teaching even if we're doing e-learning? I'm just trying to understand kind of the process as far as how we're guaranteeing teachers who are e-learning, who, especially ones who are coded, safety precautions as well. So if you could answer those, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Superintendent Davis.
Yes, ma'am. Through the chair, the first question is that, every day we continue to work with our parents. We know that with the influx of COVID-19, we see that parents may want to change their minds, and we are working with them every single day, whether they want to transition to e-learning or they want to transition to brick and mortar. Our principals have done a really nice job, and my hat's off to our teachers, because our teachers continue to see kids come in and out of their classrooms, and that's got to be so difficult and so hard, and we're sorry about kind of where we are with that. As it relates to our, the answer is yes, we want to be able to be able to protect and meet the needs of our learners. The only thing we're obligated to do in our reopening plan, if those who are underperforming, who are within our school district, continue to make certain that we have the acknowledgement form that they may not be hitting the threshold, and use the index indicators that we've defined and approved by the state and the board to be able to inform those individuals about potentially coming back. And openly they can sign the acknowledgement, but they don't have to. But our job is to be that educator. As it relates to teachers, anyone that has a full-fledged plate of teaching from a remote perspective and e-learning, they can teach from home. We want them to stay. There's a hardship for it. However, if there's a particular hardship and we have students that are coming back to our schools, then openly we're going to particularly have to ask our teachers to come back and serve our children. We're working with our teachers. There may be parts where they teach some brick and mortar, and then some being able to teach from a remote perspective as well. I mean, a e-learning perspective as well, to have a split shift. But we're trying to be very creative. This is why we're really working with HTCA to address the simultaneous teaching in our elementary, and to give more of our educators a say to validate that they want to participate in that perspective. And we got to really work and drill down and get that MOU completed to further define what that second semester looks like. We want to protect every one of our teachers that we can, and when we can, and we'll continue to work through HR and HTCA to make sure that, and our principals to provide that ongoing support.
Thank you. Member Vaughn. Thank you, Superintendent Davis. And also, we want to, of course, thank our teachers and our ESP. Those are the front line of teaching and learning, and our graduation rate reflects that. But we cannot forget, and I know this was mentioned by a few board members, the hard work our principals are doing, high school, middle school, elementary, serving as guidance counselors, substitute teaching, everything, food service, actually saw that as well. They're wearing many hats per day and working many, many hours. Shout out to our principals, and with appreciation as well. Pulled items, the following items will be heard now, and this will be C601, C608, C703, C1101, C1102, and Addison Davis. Superintendent Davis, will you highlight 601, budget amendments and monthly financial statements?
Yes, ma'am. 601 is our budget amendments and financial statements for the period of December. We're statutorily required to bring this information to the board. Well, this is inclusive of any amendments that we've had for the month of December. Our looking at our financials from all perspective of all funds, looking at general fund analysis, looking at fund balance sheets, monthly fund balance comparative for 2021, and also looking at salaries and benefit expenditure charge for December 2020 in any general fund monthly financial analysis from a 3-year trend perspective. Today we also have Mrs. Susan Garcia and Stephanie Heaton, who will be available virtually if there's any questions pertaining to this particular item.
Okay, I need a motion and a second to approve item C601. I have a motion by Member Washington and a second by Member Combs. Is there any discussion? Member Snively?
Thank you. And I appreciate the superintendent and his team for always agreeing to always pull this so that we can take a harder look at it as a school board. I encourage the board to, actually the superintendent, to when this information is being presented, Mr. Superintendent, it's a really good opportunity to take the slides that particularly focus on our fund balance and present that information to the public during our school board meeting. That would be page 25 of the board documents that were provided to members. And Ms. Saunders always took a moment as well to go over the trends, the trending information, which I think is very important for us to share with, obviously the board members have had their one-to-one discussions with the finance team, but the same type of conversation and presentation of information that the finance team presented to the board one-to-one is also good information to present to the public as well, because pages 49, page 49 of 67 is a good slide. Page 51, 52, 53, and 54 are really important to be transparent to the public. And then pretty much all of the trend information people want to know. For example, on page 56, when we talk about revenue and we talk about the 3-year trend of revenue streams. And so, for example, on page, hold on just a second. 56 of 67, just as an example, the general fund monthly financial analysis 3-year trend data on revenue received from the federal government. I think it's important to know the fluctuations and explain the fluctuations publicly for why we're seeing such a fluctuation in funding. So we went from 2019 from 1.6 million to 2020 to 816,000. That's a significant decrease, a significant fluctuation. I mean, however, we are back to 2021, but that could be related to federal impact funds or other revenue coming in for. Is it COVID? Is it CARES Act? Is it ESTRA? All those types of things. So I would ask that the same type of information that we get one-to-one is the same, pretty much exactly the same presentation that is made during a board meeting. And so if you are not, if Susan is not prepared to do it, I know I'm here. She's there. Okay, I knew you were around.
I'm remotely.
So I think that Susan, if you don't, Ms. Garcia, sorry, if you don't mind taking us through some of the highlights of the information that we went through together, I think that the public would appreciate some of that information. And I don't know, Pablo, if you're able to project the pages that she's going to be talking about, then just be prepared to put those up on the screen as she's calling them out. Thank you.
So before we get to that page, I'd like to go over the general fund reductions in estimated revenue and appropriations, and based on the trends that we have seen this fiscal year, and it's due to COVID because some of these trends we're not seeing the attendance in some of our programs. The business division formed a committee, and we went through all the expected and anticipated revenues and what we're trending today. And we've actually reduced some of the estimated revenues and appropriations based on these trends. And I'd kind of like to draw your attention to some of them. The biggest one, not the biggest one, but the one that's I think is more important to look at is the property tax revenue collections. We have been down for this fiscal year. We reduced it by $12 million. And when we say we reduced it, we just reduced the budget. It can change, and we may possibly get that money, and at that point we will increase the estimated revenue. But right now we're kind of lagging in our property tax collections. So in order to make sure that we are on track and mitigating any additional expenditures that we would not have revenue for, we have reduced some of the budgets. The other ones I would like to bring attention to is like VPK. We reduced that also. And that was based on decrease in attendance, which of course is also COVID related. And hopefully we'll be getting some more of these attendance in the second semester. But as of now, we decreased it by $1.2 million. Investment income was another one we decreased. Our cash balances, since they've been so low, we haven't had the cash in the SBA long enough to bring in the interest rate the interest amount that we expected. So that was reduced. We also reduced our host program because it didn't open full-fledged this year. We weren't sure really when we did the original budgets. We had no idea how this would play out. As of right now, we're not seeing the collections there, so we did reduce that budget. If it opens up full scale and we get the additional funding, we will increase that budget.
Ms. Garcia, are you on page 59? Are you referring to page 59?
I'm actually looking at page 3 of 7, which is the amendment, the actual amendment of the general fund. We haven't gotten to that one, and as a matter of fact, I think Stephanie Heaton's going to go over the fund balance comparisons, and Pablo does have those slides. I think he's got them up, but I still want to bring attention to some of these decreases because they are affecting our potential expenditures and the revenue we expect to receive at this point in time. It could always change, and we're hoping it will increase. We're hoping the second semester will be a little bit better, and we'll see more students and more children attending some of these programs. But some of these programs are fee-based, and we can only collect the revenue here. So most of those, the ones that we felt we needed to decrease because we don't feel at this point in time, based on trends we're going to receive, that's what we did with the general fund. And before we even get into the statistics that Stephanie's going to talk about, I just want to mention that we're talking about this CARES Act too quite a bit, and I am hoping that we will be able to move expenditures from the general fund to the CARES Act. But I just want to bring the attention to everybody that this is temporary money and it's non-recurring. So if we will be moving recurring expenses to non-recurring, it will help us this year, but it will not help us next year. So we still have to be cognizant of the fact that we have got to do something to fix the systematic problem that we have right now with our revenue and expenditures. And Stephanie, did you want to talk about the fund balance comparisons?
Yes, good afternoon, board members, superintendent, and staff. One of the important pieces of information that the Finance Division wanted to highlight is the monthly fund balance for general fund. When you compare it to 2019 and 2020, it's important to remember when we're looking at this comparison that we had a $32 million decrease last fiscal year, and this is evident in the impact it continues to have, because when it compared to the current year, each month, it's consistently been lower than the prior year at the same point in time. What makes this information up is on the next slide, and that is going to be the financial trends. This is very important, this information, because this describes all the changes in the fund balance. And to give a high-level overview, each of these is segmented into pieces. It's federal through state and local revenue, and it shows the changes between 20 and 21. And then it goes into all of the expenditures, and they're divided into the account types such as salaries, benefits, purchase services, energy services, material supplies, capital outlay, and other. And just to give you a high-level overview, the actual federal dollars there was a decrease of about $335,000, and that was related to the federal impact funds. The state, we actually had an increase of $82 million, but a lot of that has been tied to charter schools. We have local,
58.
There's been a decrease, $22 million decrease in the local revenue. Salaries and benefits had an increase of $72 million. Purchase services had an increase of $2 million. Energy services had an increase of $1 million. Materials and supplies have gone down significantly. There's been a decrease of $10 million and a decrease in capital outlay, a minor increase in the category type of other. So overall, to me, this 3-year trend data is extremely important when you're looking at the fund balance and how that information is calculated month by month.
Thank you, Stephanie Heaton and Susan Garcia. I think the point that Member Snively is making, and we all agree, is that Superintendent Davis, we must have not only individually a finance update, as each board member I know is meeting individually, but we also need for the public the update. And those categories such as revenues and expenditures, certainly as things change, and you are reminding us that they change daily, as we know, but the property tax, these new revenue sources and the CARES 2 Act, the public needs to know that as well. So I think the point is made, and I want to thank Member Snively for at least automatically putting this forth, because it reminds you, Superintendent, that this is the expectation, that we want the trend data, and always to be, and not that you're not, but always sharing with the public for the experience of transparency where we're at. And so thank you. At this point, I need a vote for this particular item, which, if you will bear with me, 601. Please vote when your lights are on. And Member Hahn, you're voted? Yes. Okay, it's unanimous. So, okay, we're going to move to 608. This is the agreement for technical services with Education Analytics. And Superintendent Davis, will you highlight this item?
Yes, ma'am. 608 is articulation agreement with technical services with Educational Analytics with EA. This is to provide the statistical analysis for VAM, which is required by the state related to inform our evaluation system. This was originally placed on the December 15 agenda. We removed it because we were able to work through Human Resources. Dr. Wellen saved $21,000 as a decrease in the contract, which is a celebration to go back. But overall, the state requires us to monitor student growth measurements, and this contract really puts in assurances and to make sure we're in compliance, and it really provides us an opportunity with data analytics to be able to inform our acquisitions and retentions of our staff related to VAM. Hillsborough County openly is one of the first school districts in the country to create this multi-measure educational evaluation system, and hats off to the partnerships with the collaboration with teachers, HTCA, and the leadership that came on board to make this a reality. This is very complex to do. If we were going to do this outside of Hillsborough County, or to stand up a division, it would cost us over $500,000 to be able to do this. This is very complex. This is around $275,000 contract. It is used out of general fund, but we are required to do so and be able to have this moving forward.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. And I need a motion and a second to approve item 6.08. And I have a motion by Member Perez, and I have a second by Member Combs. And at this point, we have any opportunities for discussion. And Member Snively?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick question, since this is coming out of our general fund. Would this be an example of an unfunded mandate by the state legislature?
Yes, to the chair, yes, ma'am.
Okay, because obviously those are adding up quickly, and I know that we have a running list of items that we'll be addressing with our state legislators this coming session and sessions moving forward, I'm sure. But just, I'm appreciative of the fact that we were able to get it at a reduced price, but this is another example of something that has come down from Tallahassee that's mandated to our district that we're going to have to pay out of our general fund to make sure that we meet the statutory requirements.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Member Snively. And at this point in time, we need to vote when your lights appear. And it is unanimous. Thank you, Board. And now we're going to move to 708. This is a impact fee fund disbursement. Did I skip one?
703.
703. And here we go, 703. Superintendent Davis, will you highlight?
Yes, ma'am. 703 is the resolution for impact fee disbursement from the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Overall, when we're ready to create that bill, we go to the county commissioners and ask them for all the impact fees that have been contributed to this particular school. Overall, this was originally Waterset Pre-K 8 is openly. Let me say, this is the only vacant approval lot and plat that we had to be able to build a structure. Originally, this was going to be we were needed to address the overall overcrowding in the Barrington area, also with Shields. Both of those have 16 to 1,700 students. And we were going to put a middle school out there, which was on Bishop Road site. It was not approved. Due to the infrastructure around that facility, we would use that to address Rogers and Barrington, the reboundary. And then we would use the water set to be able to create an elementary. Therefore, that when that property was not approved, we had to go and figure out what we could do from a K-8 perspective. Waterset K-8 is an opportunity for us to be able to put particularly a magnet school within that particular area, and for us to be able to give priority to students who are at the Barrington area, to be able to have like a heavier weight to be able to have access to this school, and to be able to further assist with Shields. And we're working to identify what that looks like from a potential programmatic perspective. There's no programs related to the South County other than I think Progress Village is the closest opportunity. And we are working in the forecastability to get approval for Collins to move from an elementary that has 1,000 students to be able to add additional seats that will give us 500 to be able to make that a K-8 maybe by August 2023. This is an ongoing relationship that we're having with the county commission in order to identify particular areas and build so that we can address the growing needs of our community.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. I need a motion and a second to approve this item C 7.03. I have a motion by Member Perez. I have a second by Member Washington. Any discussion? Member Snively?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I asked the superintendent to pull this, and I apologize for doing that kind of a little bit at the last minute. But really, I just wanted to say how disappointed I am in the fact that the county was not able to approve our original site, particularly for the overcrowding at Barrington. The situation there is it's going to just be very drastic. And I know that my constituents are going to be knocking on all of our doors in that part of the county to figure out some solutions, because the middle school that was supposed to be built was supposed to be a lot closer to Rogers and Barrington, and now it's going to be all the way over in Waterset, which is nowhere near where it was supposed to be.
Accurate.
Right? And so, so I'm just really frustrated. I understand that this particular item is just to request the impact fee fund disbursement, but I just wanted to express my frustration that we're not able to put a school where we really need to put a school. This has got to change. Whatever relationship, whatever communication, whatever we need to do to collaborate with the county has got to change, because the students it's wall to wall. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then forget about social distancing. I mean, that's already tough in most of the schools, but it's even worse in some of the schools that we're just completely overcrowded. And then the other issue is and this is kind of offset, so sorry, Mr. Porter, but I don't know that we need a magnet school, another magnet school.
Yes, ma'am.
At a new school. New schools don't need to be magnet schools. We don't have the money for the current magnet schools that we have. So I don't know that I agree with the fact that that should be a magnet school either. But we can talk about that as a separate. I know that's a separate issue, but on principle, I'm going to have to.
I appreciate it.
Not support this item.
I am very frustrated with the lack of articulation between the BOCC and our school board. This has got to stop. We have got to be able to maneuver and navigate in unison for the welfare of our children. And yes, Barrington is so overcrowded you can't hardly move. And of course, Shields, even though we had some there, it's back to so very crowded and so very dangerous with COVID. I think perhaps a priority, Superintendent, is that we establish a meeting with the BOCC. We have got to at least get this off of our, shoulders, to share with them. And by the way, they also want to meet with us. And, you know, I don't want to blame Member Snively, them at this point, but I do want us to be talking to them because, again, when it deals with children, the welfare of the children, they all have families and children, et cetera. And I know County Commissioner Smith, she lives out in Ruskin. I mean, I know some of these commissioners that are definitely, and Stacy White, Commissioner White, they will not be against working with us. So let's go ahead and command that meeting sooner than not. And Member Snively, it is good. I wanted the impact originally pulled, but then I said no. But it's good that you did pull it because we need to keep track of this relationship with the BOCC. So I'm glad that we're highlighting that. Yeah, Superintendent Davis, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ma'am, through the chair, Dr. Hahn needs to speak as well. She has her hand up.
Oh, okay. Superintendent Davis, did you want to speak? And then I'll have...
I don't want to skip Dr. Hahn.
I'll just remind the board, you have a specific item you're voting on tonight, and Ms. Snively and the chair have gotten a little far afield with what you're discussing. So we're only asking for the county to disperse the impact fee. So the discussion is very important, but I want to bring the board back to what the item is on the agenda.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're right. We sometimes get carried away. Superintendent Davis?
I was going to let Dr. Hahn go.
I'm sorry. Dr. Hahn?
Thank you so much.
Turn it up just a tad, the speaker.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Oh, better. Thanks.
Okay, sorry. So this school is in my district, and perhaps the question and comments I'm going to make are better for another time. Mr. Porter, I'll let you kind of direct that. I don't want to get us off tangent. But just a comment, I know that there was a conversation in the fall about a task force being developed between the school district and the county commission and some community stakeholders, and I was actually appointed by the board to serve on that task force. So perhaps, Mr. Porter, you could look into that and see where that stands with the BOCC.
Sure.
I'm
just going to say, again, these are all important discussions, but I think probably the appropriate thing to do would be to dispose of the motion on the floor, and then if the board wants to further discuss that, that would be completely appropriate. Now, Dr. Hahn, I'd be happy to follow up with the superintendent and the county to find out where that task force is.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Dr. Hahn, does that satisfy you that Mr. Porter will research that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that maybe if at another time Mr. Farkas could provide some historical information around the Bishop Road site and what happened there. It's not now, but it might be good information for new board members to understand the history around some of these frustrations. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's exactly why it was good it was pulled, because there is historical knowledge that our new board members need to know. Thank you. Superintendent Davis?
Yes, ma'am. Last thing I get out of it, I have through the chair meeting with the county manager on Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's all about school siting, it's about movement, and I can ask the question. We've approved our potential lead with Dr. Hahn leading being a part of a task force. I don't believe they've had that conversation, but I will inquire.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. Okay, we're going to go ahead and vote when your lights are on, and this will be for 703. And it is not unanimous. For Member Washington, Member Vaughn, Member Gray, Member Combs are a yes.
Dr. Hahn is a yes.
And Dr. Hahn, Member Perez is a no, and Member Snively is a no. So that's how it stands.
The motion carries 5-2.
Yeah, motion carries 5-2. Thank you. Next, 1101, approve the consolidation of IDEA Tampa Bay Academy number 1 and IDEA Tampa Bay College Prep number 1. Superintendent Davis, will you highlight?
Yes, ma'am. Through the chair, this is about, as you know, in 2017, the Schools Hope legislation was passed, and that's to provide Hope operators within the state of Florida. And here in Hillsborough County, the board, IDEA, had public schools submitted their notices of intent and performance-based agreements that was approved in May the 7th in 2019. and this is for them to. They were bringing on four schools. What this is for approval for them to come back and to consolidate those, and to take the IDA schools to consolidate the K-5 and 6-12, which was on Campus 1, into one K-12, and that K-12 would be IDEA Victory. And then also they're bringing to Ash to look at the K-5, 6-12 on Campus 2 and bring that to an IDEA Hope. This overall they will serve students in K-12 beginning with K-2 first, and then they will transition to rolling up to 6th grade and all the way up, and from 6th grade up every single year. And the first year enrollment is projected to be around 500 students per location. And 75 of the students will come from one of the targeted schools that they have targeted within our organization. So, this is where they're asking to consolidate and refine their application.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Board members, we need a motion and a second to approve item 1101. We have a motion by Member Combs. Okay. We do need a motion and a second in order to discuss the item. So would you consider that being a motion? I need a second to discuss. Is there a second? Thank you, Member Member Washington. All right. Member Combs, you're recognized.
Superintendent Davis, I was just curious, this is not a charter school per se, this is a state mandated program. How did this come about here in Hillsborough County?
So through the chair, Chintzia, you want to come up and speak to this? I don't want to get the historical perspective, wrong related to this. But overall legislation they passed for schools that are underperforming. They gave HOPE legislation, which gives students hope to be able to select choice. And with the number of schools that we have that particularly are underperforming, it allows the opportunity, affords the opportunity for schools of hope to come into our school district and prove competence about pathways they will offer for our students. You want to go?
That is correct. So it is. It doesn't fall under the normal charter. It's not different. It doesn't fall under the normal charter school process of application. The IDEA Public Schools as a school operator chose Hillsborough County because we had so many persistently low performing schools. In fact. IDEA Victory will be serving or in the area of Sulphur Springs, Kimball, Foster, Shihai, Oak Park, James. So those are all persistently low performing schools. Instead, Campus 2 IDEA Hope will be in the zone of, again, Sulphur Springs, Kimball, Foster, Shihai, Robles, James, and Palm River. So those are all low-performing schools. So they chose Hillsborough County because of the number of schools. They also chose Duval, which is very similar. So right now, IDEA Public Schools are in Hillsborough and Duval County.
And I did want to make a comment. I think it's really important for people to know because this is the largest, in a way, charter school entity in the country that was federally funded, maybe $119 million. So I am concerned as we move forward with the new administration, what that funding will look like and what that transparency will look like. And I really think it's important for the voters and our community to understand. I really want them to take a moment and really look up IDEA Public Schools luxury travel. I think we need to look as taxpayers where our money is going and what is happening with the expenses that they're using. Our dollars are not necessarily going back into the school. I want the community to have complete transparency to see the millions of dollars they are spending on personal travel. So please take a minute and look that up.
Okay.
Thank you, Member Combs. And then we have Member Vaughn. Go ahead, Member Vaughn. And then we're going to have employee comment shortly after.
Thank you. So from my understanding, what this is to consolidate. Originally, they had done an application which would have given them 4 schools, and now they're asking to change that so that they are technically 2 schools as opposed to 4, even if they're serving the same population. Is that correct?
Yes, it's not an application, it's performance-based agreement. So they submitted 4 performance-based agreements for 2 campuses. One, originally they named it Campus 1 School number 1, K5, number 168. So and for the second campus the same. So now instead of just 2 schools on one campus serving K-12, they just want one site number serving K-12.
So my question would be, when we talk about how many more charter schools we're having and we're looking at the number, what this would do would, instead of adding 4, it would appear that we were only adding 2. Is that correct?
We would have 2 site numbers instead of 4 site numbers.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. And just real quick, since you just be aware that Member Washington and myself experienced how IDEA was actually marketing to our public school students to go to their school. So in a sense, robbing Peter to pay Paul marketing, and this was identified, at least by me. I know Member Washington, and I shared it with Superintendent Davis. We need to be very careful that we're not having marketing right on the premises to, this was Menovision. So we took it very seriously. But without ado, Dr. Hahn. Yes. Hold on just a second. Dr. Hahn, and then it will be Member Hahn, and then Member Washington. Thank you.
May I speak to that? Because the performance-based agreement that was signed states that they must enroll 75% of the students enrolled in those schools in that neighborhood. I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. Member Hahn?
Thank you so much. So how will the consolidation of these campuses impact the oversight of our district that we provide? How will it impact?
Well, frankly, it will make compliance and oversight easier, because we will be, looking at 2 site numbers instead of 4. So we're not doubling up on oversight. For example, I'll take something very, very simple. Instead of receiving 4 TCOs or documents pertaining to their facilities, will be only receiving 2 instead of 4. I mean, it's as simple as that. But as far as oversight, it will be simpler for us, or less
cumbersome. Yeah. More efficient.
Yes.
Can you please explain, if this does not pass tonight, is there some protection under state statute? And maybe Mr. Porter can even answer this. Are we in jeopardy of some type of lawsuit here? Because obviously we have a financial situation and.
Well, the charter's already been approved, so what you're doing, they're consolidating them. So if you don't approve it, I don't anticipate there would be a potential lawsuit. If there was, we would defend it. But again, it's important to me clear, this is not approving the application. This is not even approving the charter. This is just approving the consolidation.
I guess maybe lawsuit was the wrong word. Can they take us to court over this?
Well, that would be a lawsuit. So, I mean, anyone could take us to court. If you don't want, if for some reason, if the board could articulate a reason why they don't want to approve this, you need to do that, and then we can defend your action.
Okay, but it would allow for staff to be more efficient, and ultimately, if it's more efficient, they can spend more time on oversight and potentially not miss something that might be important to address.
That is correct. It would be less manpower on district staff.
Member Hahn, we're going to have that workshop on charter schools, and your points of oversight and accountability will be we will definitely hit that hard. So thank you for those comments. Member Washington?
That was the question that I had, so you answered the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Member Washington. Member Combs?
Now, when this came through, I guess it was last year, I mean, the board approved it. Did they have to approve it, or how did we go about that? I'm just curious how this happened. And it seems to me that, you know, Hillsborough County, I look at the last 5 years of charters and we have approved everything. And we've made it so easy in this county that we now have 52 and maybe 12 to 17 coming up next year. So I'm just curious how this occurred, and did anybody, I mean, you know, can you tell me a little bit about the process and what happened at that time?
Sure. The Schools of Hope fall under a completely different law. It's the Schools of Hope law legislation. And when a School of Hope, in this case, Idea Public Schools, submits a performance-based agreement to the school district has 60 days to actually approve it. So if we do not approve it within 60 days and agree to the terms, negotiate the terms, what happens is that the state will reduce our administrative fee of 5% of all the 52 schools, charter schools that we have in our portfolio, to 1% until the performance-based agreement is negotiated and signed.
And based on their large expenditures, like luxury expenditures that they've been incurring for several years that are all over the news, I mean, has Tallahassee said anything about that, or choosing them to come in and just the expenditures that they've spent that don't directly affect students?
I am not privy to that information. I know they do get they do get federal funds through the CSP grant, which is the Charter School Support Grant, but I'm not privy of any of that information.
I guess my question is, what's Hillsborough County and the state of Florida and our governor doing to question this type of school of hope that is coming in?
Yes, ma'am. Through the chair, I would say openly, when school districts have systemic underperforming schools, the biggest thing is for them to determine and create additional opportunities. Maybe they believe it could be a leadership, it could be quantifiable, it could be curriculum, to be able to give an additional extension to be able to serve children maybe in a potential better way. When we look at, school districts, I'm not saying Hillsborough, continue to do the same, implementation plan, same curriculum, same mindsets over and over and over, and never change their practice. Then you've got to be able to figure out how to change that undesired behavior. And overall in 2017, the mentality was, if districts couldn't do it and do it well systemically, to allow someone else to come and do it, to potentially help children within that forefront. There's been some ups and downs with this initiative overall, and because it's very hard. It's very hard to go into communities that have systemic poverty, that have been underperforming, and be able to serve it in a proper.
With all due respect, board and superintendent and chair, I want to bring the board back to what's on the agenda. This is a request to consolidate an existing charter school. It's not to approve the charter school. It's not even to approve the application or the contract. It exists. You have a choice of whether you want to allow the consolidation or not. If you don't, you just need to articulate why, and then the board needs to vote. The conversation about charters is an important one, and I think it's important. I think there's a workshop scheduled, but understand there's layers to the process. As Cinzia said, this one's different because it's an idea school, but generally, the board approves the application or not approves the application and then comes back with a contract, which is what the next item is about. Mm-hmm. But it's important for the board to understand the process. It's important to understand that this is a statutory creature. But again, I want to bring the board back to what you're being asked to vote on today, which is consolidating an existing charter school from 4 campuses to 2. That's the only part that's really appropriate for discussion at this point. Again, really important discussion, but not when you're considering voting on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. And we are reminded that we will have a workshop, and actually we will invite probably Ralph Arza to be in that workshop because we have to hear from all sides. So let's stay to the point because we have employee comment. And if you'd be so kind, Member Perez and Member Hahn, brevity. Let's go ahead and let's finish in all fairness, but in brevity. Member Perez, Member Hahn, I will have, I will ask that you keep it concise so we can get started with our employee comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent, is anyone here from this, from IDEA Tampa Bay Academy representing them this evening?
Through the chair, I don't think so.
No.
Because it was just a simple modification to their plan going from 4 facilities or MSIDs with the state to 2.
Okay.
And Chincha, you can sit down too. I feel like you probably
did a really good job. Thank you.
Oh,
stay close.
Stay. All right, just stop right there. Member Hahn, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a quick comment. I don't appreciate comments that make it seem as though the previous board had some type of open door policy on charter schools. Our charter school office works very hard, and they get 3, 4, 5 times as many applications, 10 times as many that actually come to the board. In no way did our board, our previous board, rubber stamp contracts and just let anybody in this district. And I'm offended by those remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Hahn. At this point, let's go ahead and vote when your lights are on. To consolidate, which is less, not more. And it is unanimous with, Member Hahn, did you vote?
She is voting yes.
Yes, okay.
My hand is up.
Okay, we're all in unanimous of approval with Member Perez not approving. And I thank you, board members, for your remarks, and we're going to get right to employee comments. And that is starting right now. So we're going to welcome Rob Crete, Emily Lee, Heidi Glick, and Johnny Green. If you'll get yourself lined up and ready. And then we will resume. We have one more pulled item, 1102. Then we'll go to board comments, and then that will be it. Thank you.
Hey, good evening, board members, Superintendent Davis, Rob Crete, president of HCTA. After this morning's workshop and subsequent email, we've had many employees panicked about the economic situation of our district, and more so about potential furloughs. Well, I have over 200 million reasons why furloughs should not be entertained. Congress passed a $1.4 billion spending bill on December 20th that was signed into law on the 27th. From that bill, $3.1 billion is allocated for Florida alone, with $2.8 billion going directly to school districts. So we estimate that upwards of $247 million will flow to Hillsborough County schools, but after charter schools get their portion, it would still leave Hillsborough with well over $200 million as soon as January 22nd. So we know that there are some historic financial choices that were highlighted this morning that need to be remedied over time. We agree with that. But the sky is not falling in Hillsborough, and I am here to reassure our employees that furloughs are not going to happen. Mr. Davis, I'm going to hold you to your word that furloughs will always be the very last resort when we deal with these issues in our district. So I appreciate that. But with the federal government recognizing the challenges our employees are trying to overcome daily, the loss of vital instructional time and loss of pay is not something that I want our employees to be saddled with at this time. Now, my second part of my conversation was really around the 10 days that we were talking about privately for our employees. So I appreciate you beating me to the punch and publicly saying that we're going to have those 10 days. So I think that it's very important to keep both our students and our employees safe. But let's get down to it and let's sign that MOU so that way we can have that safety and security for all of our employees. And that way we can continue to make Hillsborough the safest and most highly effective district that we could possibly have. So thank you, and let's continue to be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Crete. And Emily Lee will be their next Speaker? Welcome, Ms. Lee.
Good evening, everybody. I am Emily Lee. I teach at Bernie Elementary in Plant City. There's a few things that I want to address on the record. First is the district's marketing campaign for bringing kids back to brick and mortar classrooms. There's pictures of huge classrooms with very few kids spaced out on billboards, commercials, online. Those are extremely misleading. The real classrooms have very large numbers of students. There's not enough space for the teachers to spread the students out. Our students are 1, maybe 2 feet apart in most classrooms. This isn't a few rooms. It's most of the rooms around the district. There's an asterisk along with all of your COVID precautions that says, when possible. Guess what? It's hardly possible. Students, teachers, and families are at risk. Lunchrooms, hallways, bathrooms, and other areas have so much movement that it would be impossible to actually contact trace the way we say it's happening. Parents, families, and stakeholders need realistic information to make informed decisions, not stage propaganda pictures. The irony is that this room is set up for 300 people, and there's 50 people allowed in it. Our cafeterias this size have hundreds of kids. Are the people in this room more important than our students? Just wondering. The second item is simultaneous teaching. Teachers have done everything asked of them this year. First, we were online, then in person. After that, more and more and more people are teaching 2 classes at the same time, preparing lessons, managing, and teaching. Now there's teachers teaching more than 1 grade level simultaneously. These are impossible tasks. And just saying we thank you for what you're doing, that's not helping anybody. That's not support. All of the people at the top of our district that make hundreds of thousands of dollars should be able to figure out a way to make this situation better for the kids. Notice I didn't say teachers. We're here for the kids. And what's best for them is what should be at the base of every decision, but it's not. It's money. No child at home or school should have divided attention from their teachers. Like Rob said, I hope we sign the agreement. That was left out, that you didn't sign the agreement yet. My third issue is testing. I understand the state controls if we test, but here in Hillsborough, we could make moves to make sure that teachers are held harmless when it comes to the district BAM cuts and moves next year. What are you doing to press the state? Are you calling every day? Are you organized with other superintendents? There's more district leaders than there are state leaders. Put the pressure on them. And can we stop approving all the charter schools? Put the money into your struggling schools, not pull it away. For every other charter that you get faced with, say no. Our schools need it. Whatever you would allow a charter to do, let the public school do it to improve.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Now we're going to go to Ms. Glick. And following that will be Johnny Green. Good evening, Ms. Glick.
Good evening, my wonderfully elected school board members and to our current superintendent. I am Heidi Glick, a proud teacher, simultaneous teacher at Alonzo High School, which we all know is the best high school in the county, especially since our graduation rate even went up to, I think we're at 97, almost 98. A friend and a fellow teacher asked me to read this to you tonight, and then when I'm done with it, I have some suggestions on how to save some money. As a teacher who grew up in extreme poverty, I felt resilient and prepared the first time the district announced that we were in dire straits financially. I knew what to do, and I was ready to do what needed to be done. I expected new directives in the coming days regarding where and what were going to be cut back. I waited to hear that whenever possible, we needed to open our blinds and turn off our lights, make certain that projectors were only on when actively being used, and to make certain that all computers and printers were turned off nightly. This would save on our electric bill. I understood that soon we would have to turn off the watering system for any land not being used for FFA or sports. If we were headed for a short-term disaster, this must be done. I knew that discretionary spending would be halted and all funds would go to payroll, necessary maintenance, and bills. I knew what had to be done and was ready to stand with the district and explain to my fellow teachers who had never known poverty that these were extreme measures. We would weather the storm. I waited days, then weeks. I heard nothing. No changes, no calls for unity or strength as we alter daily protocols for the foreseeable future. I saw nothing. Not one comment other than no pay raises for teachers. I know what it means to have no money, and I know what it means to cry wolf. I have since heard the complaints of no budget year after year, and all we ever really hear is no raises. Well, if there really is a money shortage, we need to take action. Okay? So what should we do? When I see it, I'll believe it. Shut down ROSAC. Send everyone to the ISC. Custodial staff can be sent to the dozens of buildings that have openings. Electricity would be minimal, and you could reduce the supplies needed for the building itself. You talk about employees that do not generate FTE, I'm right there with you, but you know what? Start in your own backyard. Leave the schools alone. All district employees who make more than $150,000 a year should take a voluntary pay cut. District-level employees should be used to cover quarantine teachers, no sub-bill. Close the charter school help office immediately. We don't need to help them. And that's exactly what that office does. And let's start saying no. So, ladies and gentlemen, stop complaining and start doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Glick. And our next and final employee comment will be Johnny Green. Good evening.
I come here, pretty much and sit and I watch, I listen, and, been in this district all my life. This district has gone through so much. And to see it go through now, I'm actually in the district, and we talk about furloughing teachers, layoffs. We talk about the graduation rate. It's those teachers who got those rates up, came in on Saturdays, Saturday school, ELPs. It's troublesome that we're in this situation all over again. No fault of those instructors who's coming every single day. But now we're talking about potential furloughs or layoffs. How do we reward them for the rate that they've done, the job that they've done, with this rate that they've spent weeks, months at, coming in before COVID? Now, as soon as COVID gets settled, maybe we want to talk about furloughs and layoffs. We forget that a lot of these teachers and ESPs work 2 jobs. Now they're down to 1. I have a hard time. I just don't understand how we got here. Well, I know how we got here, but we always put it on the teachers. We talk about charter schools. When we talk about charter schools, we must look at who was in Tallahassee fighting for those charter schools. We must look at, are they advocating for themselves, a political reason? Not for the district. It can't be that way. Because now you're taking money out of the public school. We have not had a pro-public education leadership in this state in over 20 years. In over 20 years. This is how we got here. Then we talk about a proclamation. Ms. Vaughn, I agree with you. We're going to talk about a proclamation, call it what it is. It was not a protest. We're not going to teach our kids something wrong. We can't do that. That's how we got here. Bad politics and want to give out a false narrative. We can't do that. Our students are watching. We want to be leaders. We got to be able to accept when we're wrong, regardless of politics, regardless of religion, accept when we're wrong. Our students are watching us. My sons are watching.
Final thoughts?
We're going to do it. Let's do it the right way. This is Hillsborough County. We're going to do it. Let's do it the right way. Call it what it is. That was not a protest. It was not. So we're going to get proclamations. We're going to do what's right by this district. Let's do right by this district and not get a false narrative.
Thank you, Mr. Green. And now we'll conclude with the employee comments, and we'll go to our last pulled item. And this will be 1102. Approve the contract for RISE Charter School. Addison Davis, Superintendent Davis, will you highlight this item?
Yes, ma'am. Through the chair, this approval of the contract of Rise Charter School. Rise Charter School was received, the application was received in February 2020 cycle. It was approved by the board in July 2020, and this was approved to be a 612 school that had a STEM initiative and STEM focus. It will be located in the Sun City area, and it is projected to open up in August 2022. This is RISE stands for Renewable Industries and Sustainable Energy. It is, we'll have advanced placement, dual enrollment. It is projected to open in grades 6 through 9, and projected to have an enrollment of 800 students, and then eventually grow to around 1,500 students. This type of charter school has been approved in many counties, such as Brevard, Palm Beach, and Pasco counties as well. It will start in Pasco in 21.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. I need a motion and a second to approve item C 1101. I have a motion by Member Perez and a second by Member Snively. And at this point, is there any discussion? So I have, first off, I have Member Washington and then Member Perez, followed by Member Combs and Member Washington.
That mine was for the motion.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Mrs. Snyder beat me to the motion. So you quick.
Okay, so we're all good. Member Perez, I've lost track. Did you make a motion and then? Oh, Member Perez, you're in discussion. That's what I thought.
Time out. We need to clarify the record. I have Karen Perez making a motion, Melissa Snodley seconded. Is that what the record should reflect? Okay. Then you can proceed.
And now, thank you, Mr. Porter, and now I recognize Member Perez to speak.
Thank you. Superintendent, can you explain, especially to new board members and ourselves again, what happens if we do not approve the charter school?
Yes, ma'am. To the chair, we have to have good reason. Sorry. Yeah, you can do it. And sorry.
Jump in and you can tag.
Like lawyers speak it, yeah.
Because it is illegal. Charter schools are a creature of the Florida statutes. They create the possibility to have charter schools, and the board is responsible as the sponsor for approving them or denying them. They're basically, and again, we're going to have a workshop and dive deeply into the details, but there are two steps. The first step is the approval of the application. If the charter meets all the criteria in the application, the board has a duty to approve it. Typically, this district has not brought potential denials to the board. They are not brought. Other districts sometimes will bring a charter application and the board will deny it. If the board denies an application and it's not based on a criteria in the statute not being met, it's challenged and the district typically loses. Where we are on this point is the application has already been approved. It was approved in July. So at this point, the board is being asked to approve the contract. And there's a process in the Florida statutes if there's a disagreement at this point, after the application has been approved but before the contract has been approved. If there is a conflict, the Department of Education can offer mediation. If the Commissioner of Education determines that mediation is not going to be successful, it can be appealed to an administrative law judge, which references Dr. Hahn's point at the last agenda item about legal action. At that point, the administrative law judge has the final say about the terms of the contract, and the prevailing side is awarded attorney's fees. So there is a cost to the district if you choose to, at this point in the process, once an application has been approved, deny a contract. There are potential ramifications, financial and legal ramifications to that. Again, it's very different than approving the application itself. That's already been done. This is just to approve the contract to codify that approval. And if the superintendent wants to add anything, but it is a legal process, and I thought it was important that the board understand what happens at this point. Different appeal process if it's the application. This is the contract.
Through the chair, I thought you did a really nice job.
Superintendent Davis, would you like to add to that, or would you like to
Ma'am,
not?
I'm never going to go alongside the great Jim Porter.
Okay, Member Perez, you have remaining time. Go ahead.
So, so if it's not approved here, it could be approved in Tallahassee. It could be.
That is
so. Yeah. Can you explain that?
So again, the statute provides if there's disagreement between the sponsor, which is the board, and the charter school, first there's mediation, and the Commissioner of Education sets that up. And if the commissioner, in his discretion, determines that the mediation is not being successful, then it can go to an administrative law judge. That's litigation, basically, and that person, whoever is assigned to that, has the final say in what happens. And if we lose, we have to pay the other side's attorney's fees. If we win, we get attorney's fees. But if you choose to deny, you have to articulate the reasons why the contract shouldn't be approved. And that, again, it's a statutory creature.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Thank you, Member Perez. And I'm sorry, Superintendent Davis would like to speak.
Yes, ma'am. Through the chair, to Mr. Porter's point, it could cost us a couple $100 million. I mean, a couple $100,000 to be able to with legal fees. Sorry, thousands, not millions. It's a lot of money. I'm thinking about that.
Thank you, Superintendent Davis. And indeed, this big subject of the day is money, lack of. So thank you. Member Combs, go ahead.
First and foremost, I want people to know that I truly believe in parental choice. I am not anti-charter. I can think of Terrace Community Charter being one of the best schools in the state, Lutz Prep, Pepin Academy. That's not my question. And with all due respect with Dr. Hahn, if I look at the chart, in the last 5-6 years, not one charter school was not approved. From 1997 up until 2013, there was one or more charter schools that were not approved. So we have been a very pro-charter district for many years, and that's why we continue to have so many charter schools. As far as RISE, I have spent countless hours looking at the application, and unfortunately I was not on the board in July. I have spent a lot of hours also talking to people in the in that division, talking about charter schools. So, I'm surprised that we went through with a charter school that had absolutely no curriculum described. There was no clear professional plans. There were no clear ESE goals. The mental and the health counselor, they looked at a part-time individual as being in the RISE charter. So as far as that, I'm very surprised that the past board and even some current board members never even questioned some of the things that I clearly saw through the application process. Now, if we look at the contract, my questions and my challenges I have on that are on page 3, C2, 3, and 4. All of those, there is no clear curriculum that is provided for this charter. We are not even looking, we are approving charters that don't even have locations, and we are approving charters without a curriculum. So I have several questions regarding this contract.
Thank you, Member Combs. And Chinchilla, are you going to say something? Is that?
You can speak to the applicant.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, the applications go through a rigorous process. It involves district staff members from all various departments that come together. First, they go through the application with a standard state rubric individually, and then we come together as a team to discuss weaknesses or information that more information that needs to be clarified. This particular application was submitted in 2018 and did not make the cut, so to speak. What was the practice historically in the charter office? Instead of bringing an application that does not meet statutory requirements, the applicant withdrew. So that's why we don't see, many charter schools that are being denied. This particular application, the first time around, did not make it. They withdrew. They came back the following year. I just want to address the fact that was not. Can you hear me? Okay, there wasn't a full-fledged curriculum. It's because the state standard rubric and evaluation does not require one. During the application, it does state that if the curriculum is not fully developed, to describe any curricular choices made and to provide a timeline and milestones, and the applicant did so.
Thank you. And we're reminded that this is to approve the contract. Let's keep to the subject. Member Snively?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I actually was going to explain, and Chintzia also kind of addressed it, is that by the time a charter application gets to the board, it has gone through a very rigorous evaluation process. And although there might be areas that you, as a school board member, are disappointed that there is not more information like a location or curriculum, if they meet state statute, the statutory requirements, it behooves us to approve the application because in not doing so would actually cost the district hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, which has already been explained. And so I know that we have a charter school workshop coming up. It's been mentioned already previously, but there's a lot of slings and arrows happening at this board meeting with regard to charter schools, and it's and we will, I'm sure, we'll broach the topic of the charter school process and the office of the charter school through the application process. But if we could, as board members, be understanding and willing to understand how we got to this place, and less accusatory of being charter friendly or whatever opinion that board members might have about the way that this district conducts business. This district is one of the probably most efficient school districts when it comes to charter schools, and it's one of the most difficult as well to get through. There are hundreds of applications that have been rejected several times through the charter office. By the time they get to this dais, we trust and we know that they have met every single statutory requirement that is necessary for their approval. So with that, I will yield the floor to other board members. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Snively. And indeed, we must keep civility, and our verbiage must be careful during this process, especially because, again, we're voting on approving the contract, and the wherewithal will be discussed not only in private by Superintendent Davis or Chintzia, but also during a workshop. I would like to now move to Member Hahn, Member Combs, and then Member Vaughn, and then that will be enough, and then we'll get to the vote. Thank you.
I actually appreciate Member Snively's comments, very similar to what I was going to say in regard to the charter school process. And, I think that obviously, based on some of the comments this evening, there is a need for this workshop to happen sooner than later, so that the historical practices, as well as, the state statutes around charter schools and boards' roles in that process are made clear for this board as we move forward together in unity. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Hahn, and point taken. I will check the workshop schedule. Member Combs.
Yeah, and I really hope that I haven't shown any disrespect. I just, I looked back, when I first was elected, and I looked back at the last year and a half or 2 years of school board meetings, and I didn't see a lot of questions being asked to different charter schools. And so I do also have another question on the contract. Page 13B, I noticed there is not an ELL teacher or ESOL teacher at the school, and that is something that would be required because we do have a lot of ESOL students. The other concern was the counselor and mental health being the same person and only being part-time when you're looking at 500 students or more. So I do have several concerns, not on the application, but the actual contract. So I want to make sure that you understand that I'm not questioning the application process. I was questioning as I've gone through and I looked at the application, I spent a lot of time looking at that, and then I looked at the contract as well. So my question is on the contract and just how, if we look at the amount of money, $250 million, and you look at 52 charter schools in our district and 18 possible more coming, and it concerns me to approve a charter where the curriculum's not aligned, as well as the staff for mental health, as well as our ELL learners.
Those are very solid points, and again, I appreciate your remarks, Member Combs. Member Vaughn?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm a little confused because I don't see any accusatory remarks that are happening. I see simple questions being asked about our relationship to charters in general. And I'm glad that the conversation has come out because there is a misconception throughout the entire state that Hillsborough is the most charter school friendly county in the district. So if that's untrue based on our rigorous application process, then we need to have discussions like this. And I think that people being thin-skinned and taking it as offense is problematic in being able to openly discuss this with transparency. Earlier we had a conversation and Ms. Snively brought up why she thinks charter schools are a good thing for the county when we weren't able to develop before we raise impact fees. So she might feel that charter schools are a benefit to our county, and that might be one of the reasons why people think that our county is very charter school friendly. So I think as our board has now taken a new shape, it's important to have these conversations if we aren't as charter school friendly, to make sure that these conversations happen open, transparently. I don't think anyone was meaning to attack the previous board, but just really to understand the procedures. And I think a lot came to light that we don't have as much autonomy as people would assume in approving these charter schools, that they have been mandated by the state and that we have to follow certain guidelines in order not to spend a lot of money in lawsuits. So I think these conversations are important, not just for us as new board members, but for the public in general. So I don't see why there's hostility in these conversations. So I would just like to say I appreciate this. I appreciate a workshop. I appreciate all of this conversation, and I thank everyone for participating in it.
Thank you, Member Vaughn, and this board knows that Member Gray has said no to just about every charter school, and based on those tenets of lack of free and reduced lunch and other subject areas. This particular one I will approve because, as the Florida statute says, charter schools should be innovative. This is an innovative example. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and move forward.
One final comment, Madam Chair, just about the process. So a couple things I want to say. One, the contract itself is a state-approved contract, and unless the charter agrees to deviate from it, we're bound to follow that contract. So I think I want to pivot off of something Ms. Vaughn said about charter-friendly, not charter-friendly. The Florida statutes could be considered very charter-friendly. That's in Tallahassee. That's the legal position. From a process position, I think that Chintzia mentioned, this district has always has not really brought potential denials to the board. They're handled at the staff level. So to Ms. Combs' point, what the board sees are the only time the superintendent is comfortable bringing a charter application to the board, at least past superintendents. I'm not sure what Mr. Davis' intents will be going forward. The superintendents of the past only brought charters to the board that met the criteria. So that is a public perception issue. That's not a legal issue. Just the perception is this board in Hillsborough County doesn't deny a lot because once they get to the board, they've met the criteria. Other districts handle it differently. They bring applications forward and the board votes, and then whatever happens, happens. But that's not a legal issue. That's more of a process issue and how the superintendent and the board have chosen to work. New board, new superintendent. So it's a new day.
Certainly is, and we are all learning. The process is very complex, and let's go ahead. We are going to finish up with two more remarks. Member Hahn and Member Vaughn. Member Hahn.
Thank you, Board Member Gray. Appreciate it. I'll be quick. Look, I have a right, just as every other board member on this dais, to express how comments make me feel. And I really don't, to be then called thin-skinned is incredibly disrespectful. I am actually shocked that I was just called a name by another board member. So, thank you.
Thank you, Member Hahn and Member Vaughn. And then that's it for this particular subject. And we're going to call the question. Absolutely. Member Washington and then Member Vaughn, and then that's it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are making a friendly discussion. I don't think it's derogatory. It's good to have a discussion. It's good to have a positive discussion. It's nothing negative about what we are doing. But what we have to do to agree to not agree. It's just like a family. I mean, sometimes you get caught up in nonsense, but you agree to disagree. So I think what we need to do is just, make the vote, and we know what the policy and the rules are, and solve the problem. Mm-hmm. That's easy. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Washington and Member Vaughn, and then we will call the vote.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Washington. My comment wasn't directed at anyone specifically. It was talking about in general. If Ms. Hahn wants to take it personally, that's up to her. It wasn't intentionally aimed at her, and I'm sorry that she's offended, but that's her perception. My point was to say that we need to have these hard conversations without taking them personally, and to really stick to the point of what is best for our school district, everyone involved. So as Mr. Washington has suggested and Chairman Gray has suggested, I suggest we move on and keep going with the vote and see where it leads us. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. And at this point in time, let's vote when your lights are on. And let's see. Yeah, we have 5-2. Member Hahn, did she vote? I'm sorry. Okay, we have nay would be Member Vaughn and Member Combs, and the rest would be yay. Okay, at this point in time, thank you, Board. I do believe we are now going to have board comments, and we are reminded of 3 minutes, and let's go ahead and start seeing what the list looks like. Member Washington, Member Perez, Member Vaughn, 3, okay, and Member Snively, Member Combs. Okay, oh, yeah, Member Hahn. Okay, here we go. Member Washington.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I would like to thank Mrs. Gwendolyn Myers. She's the county commissioner for District 3 for sharing the information and communicating to the community availability of the vaccine. And I also like to thank St. John Progressive Missionary Baptist Church, the Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Banks, for being the host location for the recipients. Also, I enjoyed. I visited 2 schools this week. I went to Cleveland with Mrs. Lynn Roberts. We had a great experience there. Teachers are motivated. They're working really hard to do what they feel is right for students, and that's good to see. When I left there, I went to Edison Elementary School. I met Mrs. Candace Dobb, who's the principal there, a phenomenal principal also, and I'd like to thank her for showing me around. We had a great time. We talked to students. They were elated. They had their mask on, and when one didn't have, they would tell on the other one, he don't have his mask on, and people, and that was really exciting to see those little kids to keep those masks on, really. I mean, it was really exciting. But I thank those 2 principals for doing a great job escorting me around. And also, I want to thank Ms. Combs and Mrs. Gray for the Tampa Heights on January the 4th. Do we have a show?
We have a show.
Yes, we should have a show. I don't like to participate without a show. Kids walking down the red carpet. They're so happy. And they have their mask on too.
We can't wait to show you your magnificent,
that's Mrs. Wendy Harrison, the principal.
And to welcome you back to the new Tampa Heights.
That's a beautiful school because the buildings were just J.E. Dunn and the architect was Francis Garcia. That's the thing. That's the Orange Grove band that came out. And you can see those beautiful steps. Mrs. Harrison has them out for their morning walk.
Exciting.
And they're so happy to be back home. And I also like to thank Lockhart because they housed them for a period of time, and it was really a great job to have 2. I think one of the most difficult parts is to have 2 principals on one campus. Mm-hmm. That's really difficult to do, people, believe me. But they really did a good job, Lockhart and the other principal over there did a great job. So, thank you. And you know what I forgot to say? Happy New Year.
Yes. So, thank you, Member Washington, and absolutely what a great morning that was at Tampa Heights. Member Perez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I would like to invite our community to hear directly from high school students who are members of the Hillsborough County Public Schools Equality and Diversity Task Force. These students will join me live on Facebook on Thursday, January 14th from 6 to 7:30 and discuss their perspectives on topics such as mental and physical wellness, family household relationships during COVID, stressful events, and their New Year's resolution as change agents in their schools. We tell students that their voices are powerful and that they make a difference, and that we are here because of them. So let's show them our support by joining live to hear their voices this Thursday at 6. And then also, Edna CVS had graciously sponsored the following programs for our district students, family, and staff. Edna's Resources for Living, our district employees assistant program, put together COVID-19 toolkit for the community on navigating through COVID-19, including ways to keep calm, managing stress, and coping with fears. There are webinars, articles, and links that provide family strategies to handle challenges, whether students are back in the classroom or attending online. And these resources are available through Peach Jar to parents, and including coping with grief and managing loss, managing finances, and self-care. And also, they partnered with Bella Canvas for a donation of 240,000 masks. And they collaborated with Feeding Tampa Bay, and they distributed food to 800 students and their families on December 18. Jennings Middle School's 300 households received box meals, totaling 1,294 individuals, and 750 of those were children. Adams Middle, 300 households, 1,296 individuals, and 775 were children. And Junetown Middle, 200 households, 860 individuals, 508 of them were children. And they also developed pre-recorded wellness video series on mindfulness and yoga that will be available in April. And Edna had partnered with Alo Moves Yoga to donate 6 months of virtual yoga, fitness, meditation sessions to be rolled out later in the year to support the needs that arise as school winds down and the summer is here. So I want to really extend my gracious thanks to Edna and CVS, and also look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Thank you, Member Perez. And wow, a lot of generosity was in your comments. Wonderful news. And we're going to go right now to Member Vaughn.
Thank you very much. I wanted to talk about something that was happening in my district. For people who are unaware, we have Moore Elementary, which is in my district, which is an amazing community partnership school. They have a food bank at their school. They have actually where the community donates, and they're able to collect household goods, and then parents who are involved earn points, and they're able to go and shop. So they really are trying to bridge the gap between community and school. They've also partnered with a health center, which is actually breaking ground right down the street from the school, to provide access to health care, not just for the school, the children who attend the school, but also for the community in general. So there is going to be a groundbreaking for the Tampa Family Health Center that's going to open here shortly. And we did do a little video about it, the district did, to kind of highlight that, which I was lucky enough to be a part of. So I just wanted to talk about some good things that are happening, and we're really excited about that, and being able to expand access to health care for North Tampa. So thank you very much.
And that's so much needed in that area. Thanks, Member Vaughn, for sharing that great news. Member Snively?
Thank you. Real quick, Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome back. And just wanted to say thank you for the workshop, the information from this morning. I thought it was very beneficial for, and I know we have a lot of challenges moving forward, but I'm very confident that this board is very committed to doing what's necessary, and the superintendent is committed to doing what's necessary to right-size our school district. So I appreciate that. I wanted to thank our CAC. Had a great meeting last evening. Thank you, Mr. Ayers, for helping facilitate. It was about our legislative platform. And so Ms. Davis, there she is, she was on the Zoom as well. And just want to say thank you for your time and helping to present the information to the CAC group. And then just another plug for CEOs in the schools. That is coming up in February. The kickoff is coming up. For more information, it's basically a day where a business owner or manager or someone in the workforce can go in and spend a day with a principal, and you can share best practices on what's working, what's not working in each other's businesses, because as we know, as principals, it's very much like being a CEO of your own business, your own school site. And so there's a lot to learn from each other in the community. And so if you visit, the website is dayofchange.com. We want to thank our partners from Vistra Communications and HEF for helping sponsor this program, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Member Snively, and we are looking forward to the CEOs in our schools. What great partners they are. Next, we have Member Combs.
I just want to thank all the schools in District 1. I have been to about 20 schools now. I'm visiting them on a regular basis, and really that is where I'm getting information and just seeing how hard our teachers our administration, our supporting staff, how hard they're working. This morning at 8 o'clock, I had a PTA meeting at Bryant Elementary. I know a Zoom one, and Mrs. Obershaw came in a little bit late because she was serving breakfast to everyone because her cafeteria staff is in COVID. And those are the things our principals are doing. I mean, she had an apron on and jumped in after serving everybody and then jumped on the PTA meeting. So I think it's really amazing. Also, I was at Alonzo Monday, and to see the staff and the instructional leadership team, the things that they're doing. And I want to say that they are really have embraced Achieve 3000. And not only are they seeing their lowest students improving, but they have a lot of data that's showing that their honors students are actually moving up a level as well. On Sunday, I had the pleasure to work with the volunteer with the Tampa Bay Disaster Resilience Initiative with Getulio Gonzalez. We provided 375 families, town and country, food. It was amazing to be out in the community and talking to people, and I'm slowly learning to speak Spanish. So I just want to say it's just been really wonderful being out, and I want to thank all the schools for everything that they're doing.
Thank you, Member Combs, for that heartfelt message, and thank you for also learning Spanish. That's going to be very helpful, and I'm sure Ken Hart will appreciate that. Member Perez?
Real quick, I just wanted to say I'm receiving my second COVID vaccine tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be very transparent with how I'm feeling and, with the community, just like I did with the first vaccine. But I hear that second vaccine is a little knock you down one, so we'll see how I'm doing tomorrow.
Okay, I have to be real quick. Thanks, Member Perez, because I'm getting in trouble all the time. Absolutely so glad that Member Perez, Member Gray, and Member Washington, have gotten the first vaccine. We are thanking Gwen Myers, County Commissioner, and Dr. Banks from the St. John's Progressive Church, which was very generous, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you also to our principals that are helping promote the Hillsborough Healthy Schools. Thank you, Superintendent Davis and Kim Bays for helping that initiative through. I really appreciate that. I also want to thank the African American Task Force, and we are reminded that we have our Brain Bowl by Zoom on March 6th, and it will be at 6 p.m. At Middleton. And we're getting all the logistics. Thank you, Mr. Connor, for making that happen. Monica Vera Tirado, also for embracing this, and Superintendent Davis for really supporting what we're doing. I also want to thank the principals again for the Thurgood Marshall Club for promoting that. Again, Kim Bays, thank you for that, and Mr. Connor and Superintendent Davis. And thank you, Wendy Harrison, for helping Tampa Heights be so successful with their opening. And it was great that Member Combs and Member Washington was there. Real quick, thinking about our little dissension, just a tad, we had a book, this is from the Florida School Board Association's Pillars of Trust by David Horsinger. And I just gave every one of the board members just some affirmations. And actually, let's pass this down to Superintendent Davis. So I just want us to, I don't care if you hang it on the door, but affirmations are very important, especially when we're on the board and things are getting heated. We are emotional folks. Our kids, we care so much. And sometimes we kind of get a little bit over the edge. And we don't mean to, but we do. So the second bullet, compassion, let's always remember that for people to put faith in those who care beyond themselves, because every one of you cares so much about the children, and we know that. And it's okay that we agree to disagree. My gosh, Member Snively and I, we can sit next to each other and disagree, and we still are able to smile. And that's okay, because that's how adults do, and we are modeling in front of our children, and we always want to remember that. So anyway, that's my final freebie. Thank you, Maria De Jesus, for my secretary, for doing all the lamination, And so you all will have to have this memorized by next board meeting. Just kidding. Thank you. Good night. We're going to conclude. There's that bell.